Between rounds.
Recite the whole banter over again. What's up? It's a Sunday, Matt. Man, thanks for coming. Sorry for that little hiccup there. But no, it was just diving into how cool it was to just meet you, and obviously that you're here, man. I appreciate you coming.
Thank you.
But I love your work. It really does speak for itself, and not only that, but the travel you've had to do to procure those pictures. I mean. Talk about that a little bit, because I don't know much about you.
Awesome.
Yeah,
they're
I was
fucking
just
dope.
showing him what you sent me.
Dope.
I'm like, bro, that could be like, you know how Mac has its, every time it gets an update, they have their own
list of wallpapers and
wallpapers. It looked like one of those. You know what I mean?
stuff. It's my phone background.
No
That's
shit.
awesome.
Yeah, it's
That's
a great
fucking- that's
background,
awesome.
dude. But I want to dive into that. How did you get started in this? Where are you in your journey right now? I mean, you seem like you've been everywhere, so I'd love to just get your take on what you do, just to get to know you better.
It started with traveling with school, and
Oh, here, make sure this is like a fist away or something.
there we go.
Yeah.
It started with traveling with school, and I figured I'd pick up a camera, just kind of document my journeys better. And I mean, you can tell a story 100 times, but a picture's worth 1,000 words. So
true.
I picked up a camera in like 2013, kind of went for it, dropped it down, never really touched it for a while. And one of my buddies started getting into raptor photography.
Oh, what's that?
Like
Drones?
birds of prey.
Oh.
And
Raptor. I fucking love that.
That's
I love
awesome.
birds of
That's
prey.
pretty
Then I'm a
sweet.
raptor guy.
so we started going on hikes and everything, and I picked the camera back up, and I just continued to upgrade, and I realized that more
It's
people.
a deadly hobby, huh?
Oh yeah, I've been in some sticky situations, but yeah, I kind of got the little itch for it, and it's really cool to have a moment with an animal that maybe's never seen a human, and it really gives you that little bit of
We'll talk
itch.
about that. I like that. That's actually super. That's super interesting. What do you mean by sticky situations? Because obviously, judging by the pictures, again, everything's below, guys. I really highly encourage you to check out his main Instagram and his photography Instagram. But to get those shots, what does that take? I mean, to get into those
Some
because
of
you're
them-
obviously not like pulled over on the side of the road.
Some of them are.
You are-
Actually.
oh, no shit, okay.
So there's this place in Long Meadow.
Yeah.
Fanny Stebbins.
Okay.
I've taken plenty of pictures of ducks that come out phenomenal out of my car window.
No shit.
But then I've had to hike 6-7 miles in the desert in northern New Mexico to get a picture of one longhorn sheep.
Yeah.
So it really depends what
Wait,
you're
how
looking
many
for.
miles did you just say?
I think it was like six and a half.
Jeez.
Wow.
And then it was a hike out.
That's dedication.
Yeah, seriously, dude. Now, so what's brought you to those types of places? I'm assuming this is your full-time job?
No.
No,
No,
okay.
this is just a
Just
hobby
hobby.
of mine.
No shit.
I've learned very easily that you can take a picture of a cardinal and a squirrel and
Yeah.
a sparrow, and yeah, they're cool and they come out great, but people want to see stuff that's different. So the easiest
Yeah.
way to do that is go to a different place.
Yeah.
So-
Essentially finding things that
Oh, yeah.
people don't even see in real life in passing, you know what I mean? 'Cause-
Absolutely. Or even just leaving your eyes open and looking. Last year I was in Yellowstone, and we were driving down the national park, and
Mhm.
I was like, oh, there's an eagle.
Yeah.
My best friend that was with me was like, dude, what? Where? How did
Yeah,
you
I
see
think
that?
I saw that one. I think I seen the ones of the bald eagle.
You just got to keep your eyes open. And
Insane. Now that must be a huge thing of timing, especially with birds of prey. And how much experience do you have with that? I know you said your buddy was into it, but
Mhm.
I mean, as far as their feeding schedule, I know sometimes, like I know people who are really avid a couple people who are really big into spotting bald eagles, and it's like they get up at 3 a.m. to watch them feed at like 4 or something like that in the summer. I don't know. Have you found yourself doing?
Research on animals before
like,
you go. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Every single time if I'm looking for a specific animal, or if I'm just going on a hike, you got to know the wildlife that's in the area. You got to know their feeding schedules, where the food actually is.
Yeah, for them.
If it's cold and windy, do they hunker down for the day? Or if it's just cold, do
Yeah.
they get up and run around so they're nice and warm? You got to do the research. And a lot of it's kind of back knowledge.
Mhm.
Was a Boy Scout. My dad was a hunter, so all that combined truly helps.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So you must do a lot of backpacking, and do you ever
Oh, yeah.
like any camping to get these?
So far, not technically camping overnight, but a lot of
Yeah.
the journeys we've slept in cars or
Gotcha.
stuff like that.
Yeah, because you've been to I think I saw some pictures in your Instagram. You were in was it Antelope Canyon or yeah, it
Yeah,
was Antelope, isn't it? It's like those really narrow walls
yes.
in
Oh
Arizona.
no, that was actually oh, I can't remember the name of it, but it was
Is it in Utah?
no, it was in northern New Mexico,
Okay.
above Albuquerque.
No shit.
Yeah. Last year I went to 33 states.
Wow.
Yep, driving
What just
for
as
most
out
of them.
out of passion.
Out of passion, visiting family, and then one of my buddies moved to Seattle, and he had to bring all of his stuff with him, so I was the
You
only
were
one
like,
crazy enough to go with him.
That's awesome.
We planned the trip out, and it was pretty sweet. I told him I'd only go with him if we hit the national parks, so we did the Badlands.
Yeah, yeah. You got to hit a bunch along the way.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
what I wanted to ask you too, right off the get, because you were talking about like it becoming a hobby and stuff like that, and I know so many people who love photography, and more people who love photography who aren't photographers than people who carried through with it. What was it that made you stick with it? I mean, because it's not like people don't enjoy it, but there's just something that doesn't keep them going with it a lot of the times. And obviously that's not the case for you. What do you think the difference was for you in really keeping with it? You know?
When you pull out a photo on your phone and you just watch somebody's face light up and go, "Wow, where did you take this? How
Yeah.
did you get there? How close were you?"
Oh yeah.
It truly just it makes you smile. It makes you happy. So
We missed it because that was the reaction I had to that. He showed me the
What the hell was
it,
that?
it was
Yeah,
a moose, and it
moose,
looked like maybe
wasn't it?
Canada or somewhere. It was like a
that's
moose.
the Grand Tetons in Wyoming.
Oh,
Wyoming,
nice! They
yeah, I
had the
thought it was
mountain in the
Wyoming.
back,
Yep.
like the snowy mountain. That was
Oh, yeah.
super nice.
The
Oh, my
mountains out
God.
west are insane.
Unbelievable.
Insane. And it's
Unbelievable.
like no matter where you are, you'll see. Like I went to Arizona in April of last year, and it was like there was always, if not close to me, you could see in the distance like snow-capped mountains, and it
Oh,
was like
absolutely.
80 degree. And it's a weird feeling when you're like in an 80-degree climate in the sun,
And you can see snow.
and you can see snow on a mountain in the distance. It's like, what the heck? It's really cool.
Oh yeah.
So what brings you to this area? I mean, mostly for work, I would assume, but I mean, you being all over the place, do you have any plans to get out? I mean, what's the goal?
I purely work to travel.
There you go.
I own my own painting business, so
Okay.
that's pretty nice.
Just like contract painting?
And mainly residential,
Okay.
but yeah, it's pretty sweet. It pays well enough for me to get out and do
Take
what I want
breaks.
to do.
Are you the only one working for the
Yep,
company
I work
right
for
now?
myself.
Okay.
So it's really nice. It definitely kind of keeps the travel bug flowing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, as long as you can pay for traveling and
Traveling
stuff like that,
and camera equipment.
and camera equipment, which is like that expensive,
It's
dude.
always
What do you use anyways for the camera bus? Because I do have other photographer friends in the local area. Shout out to Sam Smalley. Shout out to Sam Smalley Photography and Brett Miller. Both really great photographers in this local area, believe it or not. So yeah, what do you usually use?
I right now have a Nikon D750.
Okay.
It kind of just started out that two of my friends, one was in school for photography and the other one was a professional photographer, and that's what they used. So I had somebody to, hey,
Yeah.
dude,
What should
am
I
I
use?
doing?
Yeah, I know.
How do you get this setting to change? So that was kind of what got that up and running. But
Yeah.
I don't know if the camera's the like hard part. It's all in the lenses.
Yeah,
It's all in the lenses.
It's all in the lenses, and I mean, I've heard people make arguments. It's also, sometimes it can be just angle and lighting can really make the difference.
Oh, absolutely. You can take a entry level DSLR with like
Yeah.
$100 lens and take the most stunning photo, and you can be sitting right next to a guy that has $20,000 in camera gear and
Right.
professional lighting, and you can't really tell the difference.
Yeah.
It's rare, but it can
No,
happen.
exactly. Well, I think that's a good point because I think a lot of the times, especially with most people, are trying to embark on any type of hobby. They might convince themselves that there's more of a financial barrier but it might not be the case as much as most people might think. It could be more just like get out and do it. You know what I mean?
Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace
Yeah.
are clutch.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
If you
Always
have
coming in handy, yeah.
if you have both of those and a good
Yeah.
like time to search from stuff and you don't mind driving,
Yeah.
I drove up to above Bangor, Maine to pick up a camera lens one time.
No way.
Yep.
And it was a good camera
Oh,
lens.
it was
Everything went well.
phenomenal.
That's awesome.
It was phenomenal.
Yeah, I think that's the way to go. Lenses are so expensive. Like, I think just this lens right here was $700. I mean, and that's probably not as expensive as some of the stuff you could probably think of.
If I had to add up and buy my stuff all brand new, I think it'd be over like 35 grand.
What?
Jeez.
Holy crap!
I'm definitely not in it
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah.
Don't blame
But that's what dedication looks like.
It took probably 2-3 years to kind of build up
Yeah.
what I have. A lot of trading, or I'll trade you this plus a favor,
Yeah.
and you kind of gain up that way.
So what are some places you've been? You travel bug, you got the travel bug. What do you use? Do you usually fly? Do you usually use your car? Or
I drive a little tiny car.
is that the car you
Yeah,
No
it gets
shit.
like 40 miles per gallon.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a
Um,
perfect car to go scouting with. you
In
know?
like 5-6 years, I think I put on like 140 miles, 1,000 miles on
Wow.
it.
Damn.
Yeah, that sounds about right. So what have you gone cross country with it and everything?
Multiple times. Last year, I drove cross country twice.
What?
The year before that, it was about 3 or 4 times.
So how do you schedule that out? So you work a little bit, then you just kind
You work your butt off, and you
Yeah.
make sure you save up enough that you can leave, come back, and still have rent money and money for food. And
of, dude,
yeah,
that's pretty
Yeah.
hardcore. So you're just totally dedicated
yeah.
like that. I mean, that's its own financial plan.
No Dunkin', no fast
No,
food.
yeah.
Eat as cheaply, as healthy as possible.
Yeah, what do you do? What do you do like when you're planning a trip? Say you're gonna go cross country. What's your
Like, what are you
game
packing?
plan?
What
Yeah, what are you packing?
Like,
Usually it's definitely a cooler full of snacks
okay?
and a lot of sandwiches. Mainly I stay in hotels because
Yeah.
for $60 to $80 a night outside of a
Some
large
of 'em are-
city, yeah, you don't
do
mind
you, like,
crashing for a night.
do you do like canned meats or anything? I know that can be popular sometimes in the go. It's
No.
not a good.
Yeah.
It's not a viable or it's not a good option, but it is an option.
Ramen noodle and spam.
yeah.
Vienna sausages.
yeah, yeah, dude, that's awesome though. So what's the game plan? I mean, are you gonna just are you ever gonna go, or do you have any steps in place to try and make it a career? Like I know some people will do the prom senior photos, the weddings, that type of stuff. Have you ever looked into that? Or?
I've done a couple weddings for like to help out with a couple friends. I've done a couple photo shoots for a couple of my friends that are either starting businesses or like music careers or trying to get in the film industry. And I've always seen it as I'm stealing you instead of you're getting free stuff from me.
Yeah.
So
Explain that. What do you mean?
this today.
Right.
I see this as you're giving me publicity. This is amazing for
Right.
me. But you're excited I'm here.
Yeah. Well, it's
So it's
because
like-
you're
yeah.
you're giving me content. I do know
Yeah.
what you mean. Yeah. So it's like it's
So somebody gets free photos, but at the same time, I get to hone in on my craft.
yeah. Well, I think that's called
So-
synergy. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I think that's the definition of synergy. It's when everybody's mutually rewarded for what's
It's a
happening.
win-win all the way around.
Everybody's winning. Yeah. I would assume. You know what I mean? Because I mean, some people, I guess, you could get stuck in a job where you're just taking pictures and nobody cares about those pictures.
Mhm.
But like when you're taking somebody's personal, professional, whether it be a prom picture, whether it be a wedding,
wedding,
thing,
yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? Those are things that people could cherish forever. You know what I mean? And so money is no object at that point. It's like you need something to kind of have.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't want to pay out.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's it.
really?
Oh, yeah.
No kidding.
I've done a lot of work for favors.
Yeah.
Um,
And that's usually how it
IOUs.
is in the beginning.
IOUs,
Yeah.
I did a pregnancy announcement, and I traded them a wine fridge.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. It was kind of weird, but it
Wheeling
was
and
great.
dealing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Not
awesome,
too
though.
bad. But yeah. Now, have you ever thought about getting into like with the pictures you take? Like, I was just wondering if you ever got into like National Geographic, like some sort of magazine, website, like
Yeah, like some nature type
like you were
of
just
thing,
talking about
dude.
your backgrounds. Have you thought about ever like selling your pictures as backgrounds and like
That'd be tough to get
Yeah, it's. I mean, everybody's first thing is, well, what about National Geographic?
Yeah.
That is such a niche community.
I know, and I didn't want to
Yeah.
like. That's the only one I could think of.
Yeah, I
but,
feel
like,
bad for
yeah.
saying that right away. I'm like,
No,
he probably gets that all the
it's-
time.
But
Yeah.
like
because it's
websites
like, oh,
in
nature.
general or anything like
Yeah.
that, because I know there's more than just National Geographic, but like.
I've never really looked into like the whole like put stuff on stock photo because
Yeah.
you only make
Mhm.
pennies on their $100.
Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah.
wondering.
So-
Yeah.
In the moment, I'm working with a local photography studio to get some of my stuff professionally edited because I'm terrible on a
Yeah, the
computer.
editing stuff.
So with that, once I get that done, I can be able to market the photos as completed instead of here's the raw image directly out of the camera.
Yeah.
It'll get better, I promise,
Oh,
but
yeah.
it isn't right now,
Hmm.
which is definitely tough to try to sell somebody work for a
Yeah,
couple.
something that's not done. Well, I'm trying to think. Like that is a tough thing. How do you take pictures and like
Etsy maybe. Like,
brand
a
them and
marketplace
market
like
them?
that.
A lot of friends and family, you try to sell prints and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
That's probably tough.
Go to Hobby Lobby and get like a nice frame.
Yeah,
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like that. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like if you go to a place like that, you get a frame. So, but there's got to be a more, I don't know, I guess a more industrious way to go about it. Because I'm sure, especially based off of your skill, and you have to also not just be a good photographer, but you need to also be somebody who's good at traversing.
Marketing.
Well, of course, marketing, but like to go and get the pictures,
Hmm.
because there's I feel like an element of what's the word? You know, you got to be
Difficulty.
no, not difficulty. Just to know your environment well enough to get into those spots.
You have
Because
to be an
after
outdoorsman.
you have to be an
with a
outdoorsman.
camera.
Yeah,
You need
like
the
that's what
prowess.
a prowess.
Yeah.
What's a prowess mean?
You need like you just gotta have like a degree of I don't know. You put me on the
Understanding,
spot. Yeah,
yeah.
like understanding essentially what you're
Yeah,
saying.
no, but
Yeah.
like, I mean, have you traveled to any other countries and done any of this kind of work?
Never at the level I'm at.
Yeah.
I've brought a camera to a couple of different travels, South America, Central America.
No way. Talk
it-
about South America.
I've been to Ecuador, Costa Rica.
Okay.
Um,
And what was that like? Talk about that.
Oh, it was great.
That's
the
insane.
rainforest is absolutely stunning.
No shit.
Absolutely stunning.
In Ecuador?
I was in
I was gonna say,
Costa Rica.
Costa Rica. Okay.
Yeah, Ecuador.
So you probably went to like some of the virgin forests and shit out there.
Yeah, we walked into places and you get back into the little town and they're like, "Oh, what'd you see?" And they were like, "Oh, I saw a bunch of monkeys." And they're like, "And you survived?" What do you mean we survived?
What do you
what are you trying to
Uh.
say? Like, are you like, oh hey, look, monkeys, take a picture?
Yeah,
Like,
and they're like, "No, 2 days ago they attacked a little kid."
and killed them. And,
Oh yeah.
Like
It
yeah,
gets
I've
rough.
heard some crazy shit about how. What kind of monkeys were they?
Monkeys. I have
Like,
no
yeah,
idea.
no idea. Like they were in like orangutans or chimpanzees or just some kind. Yeah, I could hear the pain. They can definitely be a pain in the ass.
One of the best part is like when I'm out there, I don't always am looking for a specific animal.
Yeah.
So I'll take a picture and then have to research all about it later.
Yeah.
So it's a learning process in itself also.
True, because you want to have some substance to the picture.
Mhm.
Be like, hey, how long did you stay out in Ecuador?
Only a couple days.
Only okay. So you were just bopping from
Mhm.
country to country, down
Bouncing
and south?
around.
Nice. How do you set something up like that? Because I'm a big fan of traveling as well. I've been to like Iceland, Mexico, and Canada. And
That was
been
a,
to New
Port-
Hampshire,
Portugal.
Maine,
yeah.
New York.
Canada, I just went
yeah.
for like a weekend because it's literally just up the road.
yeah.
Nice.
So the South America travel was with school. I went to Mass Maritime Academy, so I was on a ship, and you get a couple days off in each stop, and we hit Panama, Ecuador, Costa Rica, Aruba.
Aruba? No
a
shit.
a lot of the Caribbean islands, St. Thomas.
Wait, is Aruba?
Aruba's right off
Yeah.
the coast of
Fuck,
Venezuela.
Yeah.
It's expensive. It's a nice island though.
Yeah, I was
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
say, is
It's
Aruba
beautiful.
that like really expensive place to go?
Yeah.
It's
That's Bora Bora. I'm thinking Bora Bora.
Yeah,
No,
Bora
well,
Bora is expensive, too.
Aruba does get expensive, mainly
Yeah.
because
no,
like,
Aruba. Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
Aruba is like I think pure tourism basically. Almost.
Oh, it's 100% tourism.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
I always thought it was funny because it's like, look at our beautiful beaches and these nice hotels, and then you turn around and it's a desert
Yeah.
for the
No,
rest of the
yeah,
island.
yeah.
Yeah.
The people that work at your hotel live in a mud hut
Yeah.
and pee in a hole. Like it's
Crazy.
It's
It's crazy.
it's insane. But
It's a huge part of the culture, especially, and I should say the economy in South America, especially like in when I went to Mexico, it was really evident that that was the case. Like a lot of those communities and the towns were all tourist based. Even I took I rented a car and drove into the country to go see Chichen Itza, and like all the towns you could tell are just set up to take tourists along the way, you know what I mean? And there's lots of signs. Hey, there's a monkey sanctuary here. There's a cenote over there, like type of stuff.
Is that what you said about the hostel when you went in there? And
that place was rough. So I got an Airbnb like hostel for like $8 a night just for one night.
Everything is so dirt cheap,
and
down there.
It's funny. I thought it was too, but it was pretty expensive. It was easy to get there. But the pricing, I would assume if you go into the country and like way away from...
You get away from the tourism.
It probably goes to regular...
You eat and drink where the locals are.
Yeah.
I mean, Mike was 20 minutes away from a Sandals, so
yeah.
I'm kidding. No.
From a what?
From a Sandals.
What's Sandals?
Resort. It's just
I
yeah.
think I've heard about those in Jamaica too, yeah. No, it was definitely more expensive than I thought. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, that place was a hostel of hostels. There was like, I don't know, probably 30 rooms.
A hostile hostel.
Yeah. Someone was cutting toes with the.
It was nonstop. I couldn't sleep. And then the funny thing was so I literally got up at like 10:30 p.m. left, and I went and found a hotel, slept there. Was gonna go sleep there, and then freaking rooster starts just chiming in from midnight until 8 a.m. So I just didn't sleep at all. It was like the worst experience of my life. I was like, I would kill this rooster if it was in front of me. I would kill this rooster.
That would be the
But yeah, no, that's the fun of traveling. I was like, I was prepared to sleep in the car. I'm like, shit, I'm gonna have to sleep in the car, and I'm sure you've had to bite the bullet and sleep in the car a bunch. What extent does that get to for you when you're traveling? Do you have to? How often have you really had to hunker down?
I've slept in the car a couple times just because like bad weather, you pull underneath an overpass, and you crash for a couple hours. I've slept on people's floors, bathtubs, friends. It's a much cheaper way to travel.
Yeah. If you can like, that's why I've always been super fortunate to know people like sort of along the way.
Yeah, I remember our buddy Jeremy for the longest time when there was a point in my time or life where there was a possibility I could move out to like Colorado. Jeremy was like all about it. He's like, yeah, man, that'd be perfect.
Get out there.
If I ever need to go out there, I'll just have a place to crash.
Yeah,
he was all about it for himself. He's like, yeah, that'd be perfect.
That's the whole point. If somebody's gonna move to their state, oh, perfect, you'll be home base for me out there. You know?
That to your point, that's perfect though.
Like, networking.
Yeah, networking is everything when you. I would assume when you're traveling. But traveling, who do you go with? Do you go by yourself or?
Sometimes it's by myself. Sometimes it's friends, family.
Yeah. Okay. Because I was gonna say, man, that's a freaking. You traveled across country twice last year. You said.
And I have I'm flying out to Seattle in I think April 19th.
No shit. What's in Seattle?
My buddy that moved out there, he's moving back, so we're on our way back.
Okay.
And we're gonna fly to Alaska for a couple days.
No way.
Dude, a flight from Seattle to Juneau, Alaska is like $250 round trip.
Yeah, no doubt. I can't imagine it'd be that.
Plus, right now, a flight from Hartford to Seattle is $150.
Yeah.
But if you look Hartford to Juneau, Alaska, it's $800 to start with.
Jesus, from Hartford.
If you go from here directly, but
that's smart then.
A single stop and you just cut out.
And Seattle's beautiful, anyways.
Absolutely.
How far is Seattle from here?
It's the other side of the country.
Driving?
It's like above.
I would say like 2,600 miles.
Yeah, it's above.
3,200 miles.
Seattle, Washington. Yeah. Okay. Damn.
Complete opposite coast.
Totally opposite coast.
Yep.
That's gonna be a fun freaking drive. What's your favorite part about traveling like by car?
Hey, see that billboard? Let's go.
Yeah.
I like it the most because you can. There's no set schedule.
Freestyling.
And, your sets.
Your life is just freestyle.
Yeah, you set up your schedule to have the chaos built into it.
Yeah.
You just make sure that you put yourself in a place where there's going to be good, fun chaos.
There's less. It's less of a deadline.
Exactly.
It's less of a timeline-based deadline. It's kind of like, okay, we're going from point A to point B, and we'll just get there. However,
we have a week to get to point B.
Yeah.
If we spend another day here, we have to skip that. But if we don't spend the extra day here, we can also spend time in another national park or at this different
now,
location.
Do you give yourself like a couple extra days, like when you factor in like planning your schedule and stuff, just to be able to, make it? Oh yeah.
Direct drive from here to Seattle would probably be 3 days, 4 days if you wanted to do like short days. It took us 2 weeks. Took us 14 days.
To what?
Nice.
To drive from Boston to Seattle.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Just like stopping when you want.
Stopping when you want.
Nice.
I don't feel like driving today. Or
wait, 14 days to get there?
Yeah.
Is that a long time or is that a short time?
It's two weeks. But if you drove it straight, the fastest route, it would take you about 4 days.
Oh, I got you. But you were doing stuff along the way.
Yeah.
Very cool. Okay, I was gonna say because I forget Jeremy did it, and if you plan out the time, yeah, that's right. Jeez, those would be some long freaking days though.
Oh yeah.
You'd be like driving 15 hours a day probably.
You get to the point where you're just so bored in the car, you're laughing at the dumbest stuff.
Yeah, but that's kind of the funnest part. I've done it a few times. We didn't do it last year very much, but me and buddies, and we're gonna get Deo to do it. We're roping them in. We're gonna
Nope.
We'd wake up at like 3 a.m. Be on the road for 4 to go to.
Best time to travel.
Best time to travel because you're just loopy. You're off the your yammies.
Yeah.
And
I'll show you my fucking yammies.
We'd go up to New Hampshire to the White Mountains, and it's just a blast because you're overtired. Everyone's getting snacks.
But you're so amped on adrenaline that you're just
so
having fun.
Amped. You get a good energy drink in you, a stiff
Everyone's
energy
crushing
drink.
rain.
Yeah.
Amped.
Yeah,
Fucking
bangs.
Bang. Yeah.
And but it's have you ever been up that way? I mean, I feel like it'd be
the
photographer's paradise.
What is it? The Notch?
Yes,
White Mountains?
there's a notch in the White Mountains. I'm thinking the one in Amherst. There's a notch in the White Mountains.
I've hiked Mount Washington a couple times.
Yeah. There's a ton of like beautiful views, and gray jays are really kind of popular
you can
down
feed
there.
them by hand.
Feed them by hand. They'll take like 1,000 things. They'll pretty much just keep taking food from your hand because they store it. Which I was thinking at first when I first ran into one. I'm like, this thing's got to be full by now. I've fed like half my bag because I just wanted to take stuff out of my hand so bad. And then somebody says, "Oh no, he's not actually eating any of that. He's putting it away." I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Storage.
Smart yeah.
Bastard.
Smart guy, yeah. And there was like 10 people there doing this, I'm like, shit, this bird's probably got a pile of food bigger than its own nest.
He just used you. He was using you.
Yeah.
He was just you were just a.
Yeah, he was just using me.
Yeah.
This whole time. So what's the plan in Alaska? You get to Alaska, now what?
Kind of just
Wrestle some polar bears.
Yeah. Is there
I don't
polar
know about
bears?
that one. I don't know about that one.
Going up there to fight the wildlife out fists. Jack Johnson style. No, Jeremiah Johnson style.
So I think we're headed to Juneau at this point.
Yeah.
The main goal is just to get the itch, just to see the state for the littlest bit of this gigantic
How much
state.
time are you going to be there?
About 3 days.
Okay.
So there's so much to do in Alaska. The wildlife, the national parks, massive, endless, almost. Yeah. But we don't have the time. We don't have the funds. So it's always kind of let's go there. Let's realize how awesome this is. And you'll definitely want to go back. So you'll make the time, you'll make the money, you'll put in the extra effort to make sure you get back there to see the things that are waiting for you to see.
Yeah, kind of putting out your feelers almost.
Mm-hmm.
I got.
So you might go. So in other words, you get your bearings and then go back to kind of like double down on those things.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was gonna say you said 2 or 3 days you'll be up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a pretty short time. So you're gonna just have to really kind of just soak it in.
Almost
Run
never
everywhere.
sleep, and you just keep bouncing between places. There's a glacier pretty close that we want to check out. There's a little ski mountain that we'll probably hit up. A couple mountains to hike, but there's going to be a lot of snow, so we'll see.
Yeah, I was going to say, too, and April, will it still be, like, dark 24/7 up there?
No, I think we'll be a little too far south for that.
Oh, okay. It's usually
farther north.
Farther north is where it's
closer to Russia.
Super dark. You might be able to catch Northern Lights, do you think? Are you hoping?
We are hoping to see that, but...
Because that's in the Arctic Circle, right? Is it still work?
I think we're going to be a little too far south. If we have a decent-sized electrical storm, we might get really lucky.
But yeah, because it's still pretty far below like the Bering Strait and stuff, isn't it?
Is it really?
Yeah.
trying to think of what part of
Well, Juneau.
Alaska
It's
is-
the little bottom part that like hooks down.
Oh, the series of islands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay.
It's in there.
Okay, that's freaking crazy. Alaska is such like a mysterious part of the world. I've never even considered going. Oh, I'm not a big fan of the cold too. I'm a real wimp when it comes
Got
to
to
the
go
cold.
climb. What is it? Do they have Denali? Is that mountain out in Alaska?
Yep.
Yeah. That's a fucking cool ass mountain.
Have you ever thought about doing like vlogs or anything like that? I know you said you're not very big into editing and stuff, but I mean, there's so many people who make great livings off of just vlogging their journey. I mean, wouldn't at some point would you want to like, I want to use the word ephemeralize, meaning you can just sustain yourself in doing what you do by doing it?
We've thought about it. I've thought about it, but I don't know. It would take that little bit extra energy. I never really looked into it. My buddy that I'm going to be driving with in April suggested that we start doing TikToks, and
Dude,
I think we're going to run that idea. I want to make him funny. He wants to make him like the
cool.
look at this beautiful scenery.
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to shave or cut my hair because we're gonna be driving through Death Valley.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'm gonna do the Forrest Gump run.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like it.
Dude, that'd be awesome. You got to do stuff
Well, yeah.
like
So
I mean, not for nothing either on YouTube. I mean, I follow them because I get into holes on YouTube. But like stealth camping and stuff, there's a couple guys I follow, Mav and Steve Wallace, camping with Steve. But they just have like their trucks that they've kind of converted. Like one of them has a truck they've just converted into a camper almost. Have you ever thought about doing something like that, having a YouTube page?
Oh,
and,
like a
yeah.
plan van?
Yeah.
oh, I've definitely
Dude,
Yeah.
definitely
there's
thought
That's
about
huge.
the-
You could do that and then
bomb
make a
fucking
YouTube page
concepts
off
out
of
there.
it. That would be like, that's super popular nowadays.
The
Dude,
van
Tom
life?
Green,
Yeah.
you see what Tom Green's doing?
No.
It's exactly what he's doing. He's got a no plan van, a really nice van. He's got a drone, with cameras and all that.
Mhm.
And he will go. He likes making music too. You can actually Google it or YouTube it, sorry, and find his stuff. And you'd probably really appreciate some of his work. And that's pretty much just what he does. Is he makes music because he loves to make music, and he'll attach it to the shots he gets from Utah and Nevada and all these really really beautiful places he's just driving around out west, because there's 1,000 billion things to see out there. You could never really.
Oh, it
I would
gets-
assume in a
yeah.
lifetime you couldn't really see it all.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the difference
Just
being
out
if
there
you get one
alone.
of those, the gas mileage is a little obviously
Oh,
a lot
yeah.
different.
It's
But
a lot different.
the payoff's a little better. You know, you get
True.
like a legitimate spot to like kind of sleep in. That's
Walmart parking lots.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know the videos. Yeah, the YouTube videos I've seen. Some people take like with a little bit. They do like some really nice stuff with some of
So
those vans. and
much.
shit.
Those vans are freaking
Yeah.
awesome. I
The
mean,
van life is definitely enticing.
Yeah, shit. Even my girlfriend's dad did something recently. He got one of those vans,
Really?
one of the windowless ones, kind of
Oh,
like
yeah.
creepy ones. But he turned the inside of it, and like within a couple seconds, he can have like a bed in there and shit. And
No
he can just,
shit.
yeah. He drove down to Florida with his wife not too recently.
yeah, what are they?
recently.
Sprinters? That's the really popular one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of
the
different
bigger,
ones. Yeah,
the bigger ones.
The Wee Man? I think Wee Man.
Yeah,
has
well,
one
there's
now,
a
too.
company now that actually makes those.
Oh yeah, they'll
like,
take
they'll-
like the
they'll-
Mercedes ones, like
yeah,
the big, yeah.
You can buy the van already made, ready to live in and
Sure,
shit.
that's not cheap.
Yeah, it's not. It's I think it's like Rhino something, but they're freaking awesome.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if you don't want to take the time to do it, I guess you could just buy one outright. But
I guess what I'm saying in all this, it's kind of my secret fantasy to have one of those and just kind of.
dude, a no plan van is a must.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So what do you have for anything in plan for something like that? I mean, what is I because I love this knowing what you do and then what you do to make money. I mean, what you're sort of, are you just painting by choice, or you just haven't found a way to monetize what you do?
I think it's I haven't found a way to monetize what I do without putting excessive amount of time and effort into it. And maybe I'm just lazy. Maybe I just
Yeah.
like
I
this as
feel
a
that.
hobby
Yeah,
because
man,
there's not
no.
much pressure.
We have
Yeah.
a good following on Instagram. I mean, your work's definitely appreciated, and it speaks for itself too.
Thank you.
So it's just a matter of taking people along with you. I
Yeah.
feel like that's the easiest way, because that's what I always think of. Like when it comes to pictures, they're very hard to monetize. Who's gonna know? Your picture's out there. Anybody can. It's the world's picture now. But your video of yourself running down, where was
Death
it?
Valley.
Death Valley with
Yeah.
a beard. Nobody can take that away and say they did it. It's because
But then you could just tie that in with the pictures too, and then the pictures get.
Well,
I don't
yeah,
know, it's like
you know,
very- yeah.
like Matt.
The travel
like
montages.
how about Mike Posner?
Yeah.
You're familiar with the sing song, right? The
Mhm,
rapper.
mhm.
He what did he walk cross country? Yeah, he
Something
pretty much
crazy
walked.
like
He
that,
didn't
yeah.
run, but he walked cross country.
Wow.
And he took everybody along with him. It was like this really
What Mike's
crazy.
saying is you have to walk across country now and then. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, you
I'll
go.
continue to take the
Well,
car.
my point is you already do something so worthy of being content that if you were just mildly known for that, it would create a following. Obviously, as soon as you put it out there and be like, "Hey, I'm going cross country. Here's the journey," and there's maybe you don't like making music, doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
You can always put catchy music to it that's copyright free and stuff.
I love the videos where they're on top of a mountaintop and they just make a cup of coffee and then just sit there with it and drink
Yes,
it.
that's
Yeah.
what I'm thinking too.
Those get
are,
me every time.
Those
Yeah.
hit so good. Like
That dude Mav, I find that I watch, he just has his truck. It's just a camp at the back.
Yeah.
It's just a camper enclosed. He just has random ones like that. He's in Minnesota, and he'll
just
just
a
go, like,
5-second
hiking and shit.
clip of steam coming off your
Yeah.
coffee,
Oh, it's
looking down like a
Oh, yeah.
valley with
Yeah.
mountains on both sides. Like that is everything.
But at
And-
the same time, I get that though. Like I get what you're saying with it being work, and then like because you do it for fun right now.
Yeah.
So if you start doing that stuff, then it could not be fun. It's
Yeah,
That's
possibility.
true,
There's
too.
It definitely
possibility.
hits the point where
Yeah.
there's pressure.
Takes the
on
magic
it.
away.
Yeah.
It can take the magic.
It takes
away.
the how free everything is.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
is a good point.
I mean, you've
too.
seen that. You and I have seen that in YouTube pages that you and I have followed in the past, where they're really into it and they love what they do, no matter what it is. And then the YouTube portion or the recording gets too much, and they just fall off.
Yeah.
Like it just.
You know who actually just came back is Roman Atwood.
I saw that. Did you hear what happened to him?
Yeah. So there was this really
Crazy as
famous
shit.
vlogger
Okay.
who had been literally making a vlog every day for like 12 years.
He's like one of the
Wow.
original pranksters
he
when that was.
he
huge
literally
back
has
okay.
15 million or 14 million
Something ridiculous.
subscribers on YouTube. People are he's a prank. He was a prankster
yeah.
from the time. I don't know if you're familiar with like Vitaly.
A little.
A little bit. Like he's in that gang of guys who were doing, pranks, and it was back when pranks were really popular. Roman Atwood then became an extremely popular vlogger. And I can't emphasize enough how basic his content was. It wasn't bad, because obviously quality is always subjective. But it was just him turning on his camera and doing shit with his family.
But because he already had the following, he didn't actually have to put too much effort
Yeah.
into it.
Yeah.
Well, like he didn't have a huge following from the pranks.
Hmm.
His vlog channel got more popular than his prank channel. In fact, he hasn't done pranks since he.
Well, the pranks just washed up. Like I think
Yeah.
it got to the point you could only do so much, and I
You
think
can only
it
scare
was
your
pretty
friends
much-
so many times.
But you are
Yeah.
right. You are right. He was already mildly known for something, and that's just my point. You're already somebody who enough people know what you do. Now you can be like, I'm just thinking how fun it, because I there's some part of me who was like, I want to travel, dude. I love what you do. I love that because that's what I aspire to have the freedom to do. Hopefully within the next couple of years, more so. I mean, I jump on a plane and go somewhere for a week every now and then, but like it's far and few between. It's like once a year type thing, But to be able to take people along on the journey,
There's a lot of
might
people
be
out there
fun.
that just want to watch the journey too. It's amazing.
There's also a lot of people out there that already do that.
There is too.
So
like
it's
that
kind of
is-
hard to
yeah.
separate yourself.
You
in
gotta
a-
find
in a-
your like niche
in a group
yeah.
of people that are. There's
Yeah.
so many wildlife photographers.
right. But I guess it's all again based off of your initial take on it. Because nothing's. Who was it? I was talking to somebody and it was like, oh yeah, everything gets redone. It's like, well, kinda, unless you really invent something that's totally, totally different, you're gonna just be
It's-
doing something somebody else has already done, but it's your own way.
Yeah, and a little bit of your own way.
Exactly.
With your
So
creativity.
it's hard to. I think it's hard to justify just writing it off as something that's already done because you're gonna do it in such a unique way compared to everybody else.
It can be difficult though, because then like especially if you go the vlog way, like I've just seen with some of the channels I follow, like you're gonna find like what makes it unique, like why you make it unique. You know what I mean? And it can be tough to try to find like your own little like.
Yeah, your
You gotta
niche.
find a catchphrace and like your own little,
Yeah.
like that could be
I know.
tough, man. That's not easy.
That is true.
Yeah.
And it goes back to like how it could be probably a little bit take a little bit of the magic away, having the pressure of having to constantly be
Forced
oriented.
content.
Yeah. What's some of the craziest experiences you've had on the road or traveling to another country? I mean, you've ever had any close brush ups or something?
Last
with
summer
danger.
I
And your angry truckers.
no angry truckers yet. Luckily,
Knock on wood.
I've almost been attacked by a longhorn sheep.
Holy shit!
Got a little too close.
Yeah, that would have
Yeah.
resulted.
That I was
terribly.
6.5 miles from my car,
Oh,
and
fuck,
I
this
came
is-
over this ridge, and there was 3 full-grown male longhorn sheep sitting there, and I started like getting real low, crouching up with the camera.
Yeah.
I got a little too close, and the eldest of the 3 of them wasn't happy. You get the
Also, you
stomp.
realized it wasn't a petting zoo anymore.
Yeah.
There's no zookeepers nearby.
There's nothing.
No,
That's
man,
crazy.
so fucking scary.
Yeah, and they'll snort at you. They'll stomp their feet, and they kind of like lunge at you.
Yeah.
And you're holding a couple hundred,
Well, what's the
$1,000
pro-
in
what-
front of you,
yeah.
and you're like, it's either me or the camera.
Yeah.
It's
What's the protocol? I mean,
get the hell out of there.
do you just run away from them?
Not run away.
Yeah.
I have to know the camera settings without actually like looking at them.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you're this close to an animal, and you don't have the ability to go.
Right.
Because you're going to scare them. They could attack you. They could run away. You don't know.
Wait, so
No
these things were snorting at you, and you were just taking pictures?
And you just have to take pictures
You're
and
a
kind of
fucking
Capture the
savage.
moment.
You,
You
my
have to
friend, are a
stay
fucking
stiller.
savage.
That's
No,
hilarious.
No, I ain't doing that.
And things charging at him. Well, there's
See
not
ya.
going to be another
See
time.
ya. I'm gone. I'll
He's
see you
going to
later.
catch me regardless. So
Oh yeah, you can feel your heart
Yeah,
start
yeah.
to race and the camera gets shaky.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Get the picture. Damn.
that's insane. So when you're coming up, like, I just love to hear like the approach process. Is there a process that you have to?
It's a lot of
Because I can't. I mean, like, let's be honest. Just walking up to an animal, boom, 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 kind of doesn't really work. I would assume they would run away miles before you even got to them if you were stomping.
if you're loud in the woods, it's
Yeah.
a lot of quiet time. You have to dress the part. I
Do
don't
you
wear a
take
lot.
like a hunter
Fatigues
approach,
and shit?
basically? kind of?
Not necessarily a hunter approach. I don't wear a lot of camo, but I do have like the camo sweatshirt that I'll like toss on and hide.
A ghillie suit.
I
That'd be pretty
haven't
good.
gotten that far.
I meant
That'd be
maybe more in like
badass.
tactics and how like you approach animals.
Oh,
like,
absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
You walk probably 100 feet and stop, and then just watch and listen. And there's a lizard on the ground, or there's a mole that runs in front of you that you wouldn't have seen if you just continued walking, even if you were dead quiet.
Yeah.
So yeah, you definitely have to have like the hunter's approach to it.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Cool.
I mean, you have to research the animal beforehand too, so you kind of know what you're getting into.
Was
but-
that the case when you came across the sheep?
Oh yeah.
So you already had done some background
I
research?
got lucky on that one. I reached out to a local hunting Facebook page, and I was
Okay.
like, "Look, guys, I'm in town for a couple days. I want to see elk. I want to see some bighorn sheep. I want to see some cool stuff." And I was inundated with knowledge of just messages from people being
That's
like,
awesome. That's
"Go to this
awesome.
street, take a left here, park your car, walk 35 feet in, take a left,
No
and
shit.
stand there until you see something." It was crazy.
That was pretty spot on info too.
it was,
Did it
was
work?
pretty spot on info.
That's awesome. That's
Sometimes
so
it works
awesome.
out that way, and sometimes you get to a place, and I mean, I've still go on trips all the time where you come back with not a single photo.
Oh really?
Oh,
Just
yeah.
get totally skunked.
Absolutely. Even spots that I know like animals will like inhabit, like owls are a big one.
Mhm.
You can go to a place where you know this is where they hunt all the time, or this is the hole in the tree they live in, and you can go there every day for a whole week at all different times of the day to try to catch them in their element, and
Yeah.
you don't even see a sign that they're there anymore.
Wow.
And then you can show up the next day, and there's 2 of them sitting there looking at you, perfect view, perfectly lit, ready to go. It's a lot of it's luck of the draw.
Yeah, I was
It
gonna say.
basically sounds like hunting. Just like you just take pictures instead.
hunting.
Almost.
Yeah.
Like it's
It's hunt-
basically yeah.
it's-
It's just a
type of
different way. Yeah, it's a
shooting.
different way to
Yeah.
shoot somebody.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, like I watched because I don't know if you've ever seen Steve Rinella. He's a famous hunter. He's got Steve Rinella. But he's got a show on Netflix, and they just like follow him in his hunting expeditions. And it's the same thing where he he basically has talked about the same things you've talked about, just in hunting rather than taking
Yeah.
pictures. And it's I don't know. It's the amazing thing of it. I don't know. It's very.
I know
I'm
that
sure
would
it's
be
very rewarding.
that'd
when
be a
you can get that good
deadly
shot.
combo if you were a hunter and a photographer.
What would you shoot them with first?
Well, yeah. Imagine that would be the recipe for a really terrible photographer at that point. If he shot the animal first and then took a picture, because they do that. They'll kill it, and obviously a lot of hunters will take a picture with their kill.
And then what about if you're busy taking the shot on the camera, and the animal vacates the area, and now
that'd be tough to do with both.
It's a successful, unsuccessful
Sony
hunt.
will have to come out with a lens that takes pictures.
I was thinking
they do have the scopes that are video
'cause
cameras.
They've had binoculars for years that you can take pictures with. Sure,
Yeah,
I'm not sure how
badass.
good the quality is. But
It's nowhere near what
I was
you could
gonna
get
say,
out of
yeah.
like a DSLR.
Yeah,
because
because
DSLR quality really good.
Like, do you have one of those white lenses? I know those are the usually more
Uh,
expensive ones. You know what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
though,
So
right?
that's those are mainly for Sony and Canon do the white lenses.
Okay.
Nikon, they're all black. They did a couple gray series, but I think they were out of Japan, so like they can't be serviced in the U.S. So
do you have a preference when it comes to like branding with it? Like I know I've heard very good things about Sony.
Camera wise,
Yeah.
I mean, I'd love to switch to mirrorless. I have a couple friends with Sony cameras that I've played with, and
It's insane.
they're stunning.
Yeah, that's.
But
they're really taking it.
I would have to get either like adapters for all of my lenses, or sell all of my equipment, and then do all that 3
Just a
years of
new-
research to
yeah.
get brand new stuff.
Shit, that would be a tough.
Oh yeah,
To sell all that stuff because you'd have to find either one person who's really ambitious or
and willing to drop a bunch of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, good luck. Now, do you when you go out, do you do anything to like try to hide like the glint or anything from like the lenses? Just because I didn't know if that like distracting like
Not so much trying to hide the glass on the lens, but I have a kind of like a mesh sheet that's camouflage on the outside, and you can throw it over the top of you. My camera has a silicone coating that's camouflage.
Oh wow.
It's pretty
Perfect.
good. I have a tripod that's like wrapped in camouflage tape, so
Cool.
you can't really see it.
Yeah, because I was just thinking he was talking about the white lens, and I'm like,
Yeah.
you probably don't really want to be going around with like something big,
Dude, some of
shiny.
well,
Mhm.
they're telescopic. They're
Oh
right?
no,
Oh,
but still,
yeah.
yeah. But still, I'm like, I'd imagine you to some like
to
you'd
camp-
wanna-
yeah,
you don't want to like
blend in a little bit
camouflage
better.
and blend in to some extent.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why they make them like that.
A lot of hiding in bushes too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. So, so you said you don't really do much camping when you go out there. Like usually, you don't
Not
post
really.
up and. I'm just really blown away by the dedication. Like to go in there, find the animal, take the picture, and then even when you're coming up against odds of being, freaking
trampled. I mean, at least with hunting, if you're in that same situation,
you
at
got a
least
gun.
Yeah, and this like.
A lot of times I travel, so I have like a grab knife that sits on my
I was
belt.
gonna ask you if you do like
Yeah.
bear mace or anything just in case for
I-
situations like that.
I probably should get bear mace.
Yeah, you ever think about
it.
getting like a handgun or anything?
I mean, I do have my LTC, but
Okay.
driving cross country, that's not always the best
Yeah, I know.
option.
But I mean, with
Really?
a knife though, at least you have something like.
Yeah, you have something, and
Yeah.
it's legal in all 50 states.
Yeah.
You don't have
Yeah.
to worry about
Yeah.
like.
Oh, that's
all
true.
that.
Some of the
It's
states.
better
Oh,
than
yeah.
just your camera equipment.
Mhm.
Like, yeah.
Not to mention, you're also on some of these like nature and wildlife preserves. Are weapons allowed?
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
sometimes yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's a good point. That's why they do say. Don't they usually say bear spray is better than a handgun?
Yep, bear spray's pretty good. Wasp spray also pretty good.
Oh,
Because
really?
it shoots like 20, 30 feet.
Yeah, I know that shit does go
Yeah,
far.
yeah,
I've seen
that'll
that
do the
can.
trick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen any bears or anything like that?
Never on my journeys. I've seen a couple bears just driving around in Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire.
Yeah.
But never. I haven't yet seeked out a bear yet.
Where's your favorite place you've been out of all the places you have been?
Out of the places I've been, or
Yeah,
the places I've gone for photography.
We'll say places you've gone for. Well, both. Let's just do both.
Okay. Ooh, that's kind of a tough one.
Yeah, because so you've been to South America. What was the other country you said? Or continent?
South America, Europe, Central
Europe,
America.
Two
okay.
places. What are your
Yeah.
top two places then?
Top 2 places.
Yeah.
I really liked France.
Really?
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Where'd you go in France?
The entire French Riviera.
Ooh,
Okay.
So
wow.
the entire southern coast of France.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, it was stunning.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to
Monaco
go
and
to
stuff.
France.
Monaco,
no shit.
Nice, Saint Tropez, Cassis.
Oh damn. Did you have to go when they had the big race in Monaco or no?
No, but I did get to drive on the track.
No shit.
No
really?
way.
That's
It's like
fucking
driving
awesome.
downtown
Yeah.
Springfield. And all of
Oh,
a
yeah.
sudden you like turn a corner and the corner is like red
It's
and white
part of the
checkered.
road?
It's
Oh, yeah.
just the road.
It's one of the oldest tracks and
Mhm.
oldest races they ever
Mhm.
hold.
And they just close the road down when it's time to race? Or-
Oh, it's the big. I want to go there someday. That and do you know of Le Mans? 24-hour
yep.
Le Mans. I want to go to that and Le Mans, and those two races. Le Mans, they do the same thing. They just shut down part of the road and like
Yep.
at a country.
They shut down the town for a day.
Yeah.
And
Shit, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Dude, imagine it's like everybody, like the top people come out for it too.
It
It's
always
amazing.
makes me laugh when they do that shit in Spain, where they just release the bull.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
like
yeah.
running
You
the
got
bull, yeah.
who can, why?
Yeah,
Why not? Why not?
Yeah,
Like
why
when you
not?
see some of these videos, people get thrown in the air by their feet, and they're like their shoes are flying off, and they literally land on their head or some shit, and then the bull tramples them, and they get up and jump over an 8-foot wall. Like what the fuck is going on over there?
Talk about an adrenaline rush.
Yeah,
Right,
it
you
is
gotta
crazy.
be on a whole nother level energetically to be able to withstand a beating like that, and then jump over an 8-foot wall, and they're just there's kids in the street and shit, like they have no concern about that at all. It's a fucking bull, dude, with horns.
Oh yeah, and he's not happy.
No,
Yeah,
not
and
at all.
he's pissed. He's pissed, and people are screaming at him and shit, and they're trying to what are they trying to do? Ride him? Like, I don't know.
They do. No, it's like a whole event. They bring them out to the.
Don't get me wrong, I don't hate
it's
it
a
at
whole-
all.
I think the running of the bulls is the goal is to like touch it for good luck and then get out of there.
Oh.
Yeah,
But don't hold me to that.
yeah.
We got to
it's a
do
whole
that. Just talking
Fuck
about it,
you.
it gets me
thing.
excited.
Fuck you.
We should plan
No.
one in Springfield.
No, you go do that. I'll go to Le Mans in Monaco.
We'll-
and drive
we'll-
around.
I'm going with him. I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Listen, we'll do
Go
it
to
in
24
Springfield. This is a
hours,
great
yeah.
idea, guys. No, seriously,
No,
let's
fuck
get
you,
our
it's a
shit
good
together.
idea.
So we'll
No,
find a bull. We'll ask for
No,
forgiveness, not
you go find
permission,
that bull.
and we'll just
Yeah.
release him.
Yeah. You ever seen the movie Wild Hogs?
We'll
with
release
Tim
him
Allen?
during a parade. That way, everybody will be there. Nobody will miss it.
Perfect.
Thanksgiving Day
Thanksgiving,
parade.
yeah.
Please remind me when this is coming up. We'll be far
That would
away.
be literally the best thing to do. Is like, say during the St. Patrick's Day parade, you release a fucking bull. Everyone's pissed drunk, and there's just a angry bull plowing through drunk runners, and people screaming.
I would just like to say I will not be held legally accountable if
Yeah.
this does go through.
Yeah,
Whoa.
Matt is the ringleader on this operation. Actually,
bull running. I guess bull running in general.
What is it illegal here?
No, in northeast Spain.
It's illegal. In
No, it
Mass. I
became
know it.
popular basically because while transporting cattle in order to sell them at the market, men would try to speed the process by hurrying their cattle using tactics of fear and excitement.
Well, that's one way to do it. That's for sure. They're still really big into it. Like,
yeah.
my family's in Portugal. I've lived there before for,
that's
for a couple
awesome.
of years, and that's like a sport still. Is
Oh, yeah,
is
running
wrangling
the bulls.
wrangling the bulls, and then I think they also do a thing where they release one and people get fucking. I feel like
Mauled.
there's no way of like casually saying, "Oh, they released a bull into the streets."
It's kind of like saying, yeah, we released a bear
Yeah,
in a grocery
we found
store.
an alligator that can gallop. We kind of just let him run around. Then we put him back. If you touch him, it's good luck.
Send them in the China shop.
Yeah.
No big deal.
We get the kids and the family. The grandma's there. Oh, there's the alligator. So where's your second favorite place?
Anyways, going back.
Yeah, let's go. Let's circle back.
So
We'll release the bull though. That's still
Yeah,
gonna happen.
yeah,
Don't
it's
worry,
gonna happen.
folks.
my
And I'm
second,
going to Le Mans.
Yeah, no, you're not.
my
Yes,
second
I
favorite
am.
place
Fuck
is the
you.
place I haven't been to yet.
Oh, really? I like that
Ooh.
saying.
It's the next journey.
That's
the next
that's a
place.
fortune
It's,
cookie. That's a fortune
Like that.
cookie.
Yeah, that is. That's a.
That's awesome.
Right now, I mean, I'm super excited for Alaska. And we're doing all the national parks in California in April, so I'm ecstatic about that.
Yeah.
But because it's already planned, it's not as exciting as a place I haven't been to.
Yeah.
On the drive out,
And there's so many
last
places
year.
to
Oh,
go.
yeah.
I mean,
and you can go to the same place. Like we're gonna stop at Yellowstone on the way back,
oh.
even though we've already been, just because we didn't see all of it. Well,
Not
what if
only-
we take that road? Well, what if we stop
Yeah.
here
Go
because
get-
we didn't
yeah.
stop? We stopped there last time.
I'll confess too. Sometimes going somewhere for the second time is way
Mhm.
fucking better
Yeah.
Mhm.
because
You're not
I don't
experiencing everything
know.
for the first
Yeah.
time, so your eyes are open to new things.
yeah, and I don't know. It just like especially if it was a very positive experience in your life, and then you come back. I'm trying to figure out why it's psychologically, at least to me, because I completely agree with that.
It's because
like,
the first time lays down the groundwork, so you know what it is. You're not like taking it back. I remember that going to Vegas for the first time. I've been a couple times, but the first time I was like, "Whoa, this is amazing!" And the second time, I'm like, "This is awesome," but I get it now. Like I know where everything is.
Yeah,
and so now
yeah.
find the
You
new
have a
things.
better
familiarization.
ability
Yeah.
to appreciate it because you know what to do, where to go, how
And the
to
basics
make
are
it
out of the
work.
way, so now you can expand
Right.
upon that. Yeah.
That's a good point. Because there's a lot of probably regular shit you got to focus on to get your bearings.
It's still
and
very
whatnot.
interesting though how that works.
Yeah. The national parks here. I mean, Iceland is a fantastic country to go to. I recommend.
Reykjavik.
Yeah. Well, honestly, the dumbest. I don't want to say bad things. Reykjavik was the most boring.
Mike
place.
said Iceland's
Yeah.
dumb.
That's just
Yeah.
the airport.
It's actually you actually land in Keflavik. Reykjavik
okay.
is a not an international airport. Like you fly to other places in Europe, but you land just south of Reykjavik, and the country itself is I would assume. I will tell you straight out. It's probably gonna, if you ever go, photographer's paradise, because all the roads are running along mountain ridges, and all the mountain ridges are created by glaciers.
Yeah.
In fact, there's this one point about it's the largest glacier in Europe, and it's so freaking big that when you're driving, I mean, obviously, you'll never really know when you're right up against it, but there's like a mountain line, and that's not a mountain line. That's the ice pushing earth.
Yeah.
I mean, there are kind of mountains now, but behind those mountains is
It's
flush
solid
ice.
ice.
Yeah, and there's just a constant amount, like water gushing out. It's just really magical place. I mean, from an elemental standpoint, it's like all there. There's fire coming out of the earth. There's water coming out of the earth.
I think the only reason why I wouldn't go is based off just how many people have gone and
Yeah.
how popular on Instagram things get.
It is.
Yeah.
It
So
is.
then
Yeah.
it becomes a challenge of, great, you're here. Yeah, everybody's expecting awesome photos. You have to take a photo separate from the photos.
Why? Yeah, don't take
That
the same
It can't be
everyone
the same
has.
as like me posting the one I have on Instagram.
Well,
Like,
that's
it's-
From
no,
your
it's
phone.
that's
Yeah,
a good
yeah.
point
Yeah.
because after I went, I hadn't realized it was really popular, and then I'm like, no way, I've been there,
Mhm.
from people sharing pictures of the beaches, like the famous beaches there, and the famous basalt columns, and all those things. And it's
That's
like,
when
oh,
Mike
shit.
found out he wasn't so special.
I didn't. It wasn't so special all of a sudden, and half the reason I'm alive was just a fad. It was just a big sham the whole time. No, so what were we saying? I would go back though.
Oh, I would love to go.
Yeah.
I think that would be a great experience.
But I can't imagine for you though. I didn't even think.
Yeah.
about
You,
that.
you have to
Yeah.
look. I mean, I've done the whole like travel by Instagram. You go to a new place and you literally
Yeah.
like you type it into like Instagram places and these are the top 10 coolest thing that everybody wants to see and take pictures of.
Yeah.
I've done that and
Yeah.
it always works out. You always get the likes. Everybody gets excited. Everyone
Yeah.
thinks it's really cool. But then you look into the places that people don't go.
Mm.
I mean, the French Riviera. Like, I don't feel like people go there, but I don't think a lot of, at least people I know, don't go there.
No, I
So
like
Yeah.
that
that's
though. That is
pretty-
a fantastic
Yeah.
goal. My point was before too. I kind of spat it off. Was that even with that being the case, where I go to another country, or you probably could agree with me on this, is that this is beautiful, but it's insane how much beauty is actually in this country too.
Mhm.
And if you give it a chance, or at least go out of your way to see it. I mean, think about like you could probably vouch. You've probably been to Bryce and Zion and all those places. Have you?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not
See,
yet.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like the West is just full of it.
Oh, it's loaded.
It's never ending. It seems like.
There's gold in those hills.
There's got to be, and that's
That was good.
There is gold in those hills, man. Well, that's just it. Think about so there's obviously the Instagram
Oh yeah.
angles,
Yeah.
but there's probably so much that is yet to be really captured.
Oh, definitely.
You know
and,
what I mean?
And this is the pull off on the side
Even
of the road.
taking
so-
Yosemite from a different angle,
Exactly.
you all of a sudden have a brand new picture.
But where's the different angle?
Yeah.
It's like I think it was 2 weeks ago, Fire Falls in Yosemite.
Yeah.
It's when the sun lines up with a waterfall and it looks like it's on fire.
Oh,
And
yes, I've
And
seen that.
there's only like one direct line you can kind of take to get
Yeah.
that photo, and you'd expect like there's gonna be like 3 people here. We're gonna be sitting in the woods all by
Yeah.
ourselves, and it's gonna be really quiet.
Oh, that's
And
dope.
then there's like 800 photographers, and
Yeah.
there's not even a space to stand. You have to like put your tripod on top of your car just to get the photo without anybody else in it.
Yeah, like I'm looking at pictures. I just Googled it, and I'm looking at the images, and like all the first 10 images are all almost the same angle,
Yeah.
just
Yep.
about. Nothing's too different.
That one's also really hard because you have to have that angle
Yeah.
to capture the moment.
Yeah, but that's also like in
You
New
need
York.
to get a friend with a helicopter.
In New York, it's popular.
drone.
Or a drone, yeah.
Have you ever heard of the Stonehenge in New York?
No.
Oh no.
Yeah, there's Tyson. Who's the scientist? I can't think of it now. Damn it. Give me 1 second.
Neil deGrasse Tyson?
Yes.
Oh,
him.
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
He made
yeah,
it
I knew that.
popular.
Stonehenge in New York.
Yeah.
There's probably a bunch of them. They are pretty.
Well, no, but what it is it's like the same thing
Ubiquitous
as
with
Stonehenge,
humans.
but if you go to a certain part of New York City at the right time,
Oh,
when the sun's setting,
the sun lines up.
With that street.
yeah.
Is
Oh,
it? I don't remember which one it
Fifth
is.
Street.
Yeah, Fifth Ave.
Yeah, something.
Manhattan Henge is what it is.
Manhattan Henge.
Like that.
Yeah.
They call it Manhattan Henge.
Yeah, because it's in
Because
Manhattan.
the sun lines up perfectly throughout
Yeah.
through the whole
yeah,
day.
and that's a
it's
big-
like-
Yeah,
Yeah.
viewing it on 14th, 23rd, 34th, 42nd, and 57th Street. Like you could just see the sunset perfectly on the line.
Yeah,
It's like,
that's become a site of its own.
but yeah, that's what I'm
cities.
saying. Like one of those, like,
cityscapes.
Cityscapes
yeah.
are
Oh yeah.
wild.
but that's one of those. You watch those people like it shuts down that street when people go to take
Oh,
pictures.
absolutely.
Of that. Yeah, like no one can take a good picture of that anymore.
I mean, the traffic there's terrible to begin with. So
Yeah,
like, let's
and it
gets
add a
even
couple
worse.
thousand
Yeah.
people taking one picture.
Seriously. And the crazy part,
damn, it's a beautiful picture though. Holy shit.
yeah, I know. I'd love to go down there. What was I saying before? I lost my train
Urban
of thought.
photography I think that's a whole
Yeah.
nother level.
Well, I was just getting into. We were
Yeah, it's
talking about
cool,
it
though.
yesterday. Is these walkthroughs of these $40 million penthouses?
oh god.
Oh,
And
that's
the
how we got on
views-
the Monaco conversation. 'Cause
Yeah.
we were talking
Yeah,
about a
yeah.
Monaco penthouse.
Yeah, there's a Monaco penthouse for $400 million.
That's my dream. I could just watch the race every year. It's just $40 million.
Holy
It's fine.
shit, bro! That's a
big
little
deal.
much. But some of these houses are just absolutely stunning. And between, if you want to just take pictures of the style of the architecture of the
Mhm.
builder that made that penthouse, or even just the angle at which they can see the city, I was like,
Oh,
holy
yeah.
shit!
You take a picture of where you are or of what you can look at from where you are.
Yeah, yeah. That's got to be a huge. That's got to be a huge element. Have you ever thought about like getting a drone or something like that?
I've definitely thought about getting a drone. I actually looked into getting a drone for this upcoming trip.
Yeah.
I have a good buddy of mine who's a professional drone photographer.
Oh, okay.
Shout out Andy Claire
Shout out to
Photography.
Andy.
Shout out.
And I don't know. I'm just worried I'm gonna crash it, and if I spend enough money to
They're
get
really
the
smart,
image
though.
quality,
Yeah. Especially though, I mean, if you're gonna drop some coin, those Phantom ones, I believe.
Oh yeah.
Those are really
You
nice.
don't
And they're
have to spend too
DJI.
much.
yeah, they're super nice, especially if you want like a good high quality
Mhm.
like picture or video. And they're not hard to like operate. Like I remember when I
Yeah,
worked
no,
at Best Buy, we sold them. They're
I met a
crazy.
guy out in Mexico who had one, and he uses it for his business, which is pretty much just oh gosh, I forget what exactly it is. He's probably this person you'd go to get branding and marketing from a visual standpoint, so
Mhm, mhm.
videos and all that. That drone can literally do everything.
Oh yeah. they are.
It's insane the amount of AI that's built into it. It's actually to the point where the only time it would crash, it would be like something attacking
it,
it,
yeah.
or something shot it or something. But it's
Get too close to one of those government helicopters.
It
that
can
goes
go.
down
It
real
can
quick.
go a quarter mile away from you, and then if it loses signal, it just autopilots exactly back to where it had taken off.
Oh,
It
wow.
knows where it took off, so it will just it takes your controls away,
Hmm.
and then it just slowly comes right back down to
Wow.
where it started. It's like insane how smart they are, and then you can program it to even do shit like focus on something
Mhm.
and do a targeted shot. So you could like spin around somebody,
But keep the same point of view.
keep the same point of view, and it's looking at the same thing that whole time.
Yeah.
You ever seen the
it's
people that race
bizarre.
those fucking things?
Yes.
Oh, those are
Drone
absolutely
racing?
insane.
I watch those videos. I'm like, oh my fucking god, how
Yeah.
do you do this?
I get sick
Skill.
watching them.
Yeah,
so I'm
they're
like,
like,
I couldn't
"Ooh,
imagine
ooh."
having the
Yeah.
virtual reality
know.
I don't
headset
know how
on.
you do that.
Uh-uh.
Yeah,
I love
you-
racing games and shit. I couldn't do that. That's crazy. That's nuts. That's fucking ridiculous.
That's
I
like,
also have zero eye thumb coordination. I play
Right.
zero video
Well,
games.
without those-
26 years strong. I got it, baby.
without those cameras. That's what I'm thinking. Without those cameras, like the way they would do it, what blows my mind is people who drive, what are they called? They're just like airplanes. They're what the hell are they?
Oh,
Just
unmanned like UAV, like drones.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
UAV.
Like a
UAV.
drone,
Yeah.
but without a camera. They'll
Yeah.
just like zzz. You ever see that where they
Oh yeah,
throw
like
it and then
remote
just-
control airplane
remote
and stuff
control
like
airplane, and they'll just go as like a model. That's what I meant.
Yeah,
Was the word I was looking for. A model airplane, but it's obviously built in with a motor and everything. And they're just eyeballing it. I'm like, dude, what?
that. How do you know like left from right?
Right.
Yeah, how
the
can you do
position
that?
of it?
That's
Yeah, yeah.
crazy.
That's what I'm saying. Because if it's upside down or something, it's like everything's
Mm-hmm.
different. Anyways, that camera on those drones is everything because you
Oh,
can
yeah.
pretty much just
Well, and
play
the
it like a
feed,
video
the
game.
fact that the feed is so live,
Instant.
like, yeah, because it can't be any lag, like
Mm-mm.
no lag. There's any lag, you're done. Like
You have
that.
0.01 seconds.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, it's crazy.
The bummer is there's a lot of places that don't allow the drones.
Oh, there's
That's
a
like
excessive amount of places. You have to when you start getting into that, you have to start looking into like FAA rules
Oh
and
yeah.
permits probably.
Mhm. and you have to buy permits ahead of time and
Yeah.
how far ahead of time.
I know. And it's funny too, because at the same time, if you really just wanted to be sneaky about it, like
You could go that quarter mile away.
yeah,
Toss it up.
it's
and fly
like
over.
sniping
Yeah.
on another level. Because a quarter mile is really far away when you're
Mm.
thinking about actual distance, and that's just the drone he
Oh
had.
yeah, some of them get out to like 2 miles.
Right,
It's
they
insane.
powered off the satellites.
And trust me, like
Cell
anything
phone
else,
service.
if there's a will, there's a way. You can make. I'm sure you
Oh,
can
yeah.
make those things more like the range go longer on them.
Yeah, and they're very quiet too.
Hmm.
They really don't take a lot of power. 'Cause It's like these little motors. We had a bunch of those in electronics shops.
Oh,
We
the
could've probably
original ones,
built
yeah,
one.
like they're little tiny ones, yeah.
It is impressive though to see what people do with those things.
Oh yeah. I see. I never got in. I never thought about like really getting into the whole like drone photography thing.
Mhm.
Purely just based off. I'm still trying to progress in my regular photography, and now
Yeah.
you want to add a whole nother aspect.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's
What are some aspects of that are you working on there? What did you have trouble most with just in your time becoming the photographer you are now? Was there a learning curve that you'll never forget?
yeah. There's a couple of them. I mean, the easiest one for me to overcome was not really caring what's on the other side of the lens. You can
Okay.
take a picture of a regular bird,
Yeah.
and yeah, nobody wants to see it, but at the end of the day, you got better at how your lighting is, or you
Yeah.
got better at determining your f-stops based off your shutter speed.
Mhm.
So you kind of use that as work on yourself.
Right,
with,
right.
With,
As
with
practice.
actually, yeah,
It's
yeah.
practice, like
yeah.
reps. It's just doing
It's
reps.
like going on an interview you don't actually want the job for.
yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. that's-
just to try it
Well
out.
said.
Just
Yeah.
to-
Well
Yeah.
said. Just
But-
on the craft.
There's stuff like that. I mean, there's always stuff to work on. I love posting pictures on like some photography pages on Facebook or wildlife pages, and people are like, "Hey, why didn't you do it this way?" And it's like,
Yeah.
"Oh crap, I didn't think about that. Why didn't I triple focus that image and overlap it? Instead, I actually liked the fact that the background's blurry. But now thinking about it, the photo would have been way worth it if it wasn't. So
yeah.
it's nice to have the creative criticism because it makes you question yourself.
And you usually
Ever go on
don't.
Reddit for that creative criticism?
No, it's usually on Facebook pages
Safe.
that have like the rules that are like
Yeah. No hate speech.
yeah,
like,
no hate speech,
Yeah, do
Yeah.
not put people down. Yeah, I don't blame you at all. No.
constructive criticism only.
Yeah. This picture sucks. Thanks,
Reddit,
man.
Reddit doesn't know what that means.
yeah.
Oh yeah, plus people get brutal.
Yo,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's like the last place where people just don't give a shit. Reddit is just like it's like a freaking snake pit. Did you follow what happened with like GameStop and everything?
Oh, yeah.
are you invested?
I picked up some Dogecoin.
There you go. Same, dude. I'm
Same.
holding
Let's
Dogecoin to the
go.
moon.
So I bought it the first time Elon Musk did his stupid little tweet,
Yep.
and I bought it for 0.6 of a penny.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so I picked up like a couple hundred shares.
Yeah.
So when it hit that 8 cents, I was up a couple $100.
Yeah.
And then
Wait, you bought only 100 coins?
I think I bought
or $100 worth of coins.
I think I bought like $20 worth of coins at
Yeah, so that'd be a few hundred back.
0.6 of a penny.
Oh my god.
So yeah, I had a couple thousand shares. So once it went up,
How much did you get?
I didn't pull it out because I was expecting
Yeah.
for the.
Oh,
I was
just
expe-
hold. Just
I,
hold.
yeah, I was
It'll
holding
get
it.
to $1.
I
I bet it will.
not if you look at it in the last couple days.
No, it's not doing. Here, well, the whole stock market's doing bad, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. what was it? I did a podcast actually by myself, like the Off the Top series I've been doing, and I was looking it up during that podcast. The price of Bitcoin.
Oh my
in
God.
2012 was less than, what was it? Less than 2 cents or some shit like that.
Mhm.
It was 25 cents. It was either 0.025 cents per coin. So it's 2 pennies, 2.5 pennies per Bitcoin, and that's $50,000 now for one.
I'll never forget. It was like 2013, and I was at school and walked into like the study lounge, and there was these kids. They were talking about like World of Warcraft and how they bought like a couple Bitcoin here and there. And all I can think of is now is those kids that bought like, oh, I put $100, da da da.
Yeah,
they're millionaires right now.
They
like,
have to be.
Just sitting on
How?
it, just loving life. Yeah.
But
Or
that's the crazy thing, because you would have easily sold. Because think about it.
Yeah.
If Dogecoin gets to $1, I might sell.
oh, I would sell.
You know what I'm saying?
If it hit 50 cents, I would sell.
Mike, diamond hands.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so think about all those people, because that is it's really easy to look back and be like, oh, I would have held. But if you bought it back then and saw it go up to $1,000, it went up to, at one point it went almost up to $20,000 in 2016. And then obviously went back down to like 5 for the longest time. But
And
now
the
look
people
at it.
that had it then were ecstatic because they were millionaires.
Yeah.
What was it? This time last year, it was approaching about $6,000. I think it was May. It hit 45 was the lowest it got, $4,500 for Bitcoin. And then within the year, by the time December rolled around, it was at $45,000. It went up 100%.
The only thing that worries me that recently, which is related, which is oddly like you don't realize it's related until you start to get into like learn about crypto. But I just know it because I'm into gaming. But the graphics cards, like the graphics cards, are what makes these crypto, basically crypto coins and shit. Like Nvidia,
when you're mining them.
Yeah, Nvidia, who's the biggest basically maker of these, and obviously it's illegal and they don't intend their graphics cards to be used like this. They're actually starting to redo their like architecture of their graphics cards.
So you
in the
can't
future,
just buy a generic.
and you can't. No, people can no longer make these big daisy chains of graphics
That's
cards.
lame.
Oh my
though.
gosh.
So there's a very possibility that crypto could go down depending on what they do.
Well, if people can't make them
Yeah.
anymore, then the price would just go up.
that is true, but it's like
Because now there's no more.
I do wonder though if they can't make it all together, like what does that ultimately do? If like there's no more crypto to pump out, like how does that affect it? You know,
I think isn't there a finite amount?
With Bitcoin, there is.
Yeah.
There's only so many Bitcoin.
And the fewer that there is left, the harder it is to mine.
No, Bitcoin right now, I think one of the driving factors is that, one, it's obviously accepted almost everywhere at this point. But it's also the rarest currency in the world.
Really?
Yeah, there's
oh,
only
that's
like
cool.
I think there's only like 200 million of them.
Wow.
Or something like that, which isn't very much considering there's lots of people who have $200 million. You know what I mean?
There's entire countries that have that.
Exactly. So think it's pretty crazy. But I don't know much about it to really give a very educated opinion about. I know,
like who's the guy that thought of that? Like especially have you ever seen those like the how they like wire these graphics cards to like generate these?
Oh my gosh!
They're
like the amount
massive.
of power that they take.
Oh yeah, it's like who the fuck came up with this?
It looks like a mainframe.
There's
and there's ways you can build them on your own. Like there's at-home rigs that make
I've seen them online before. Like the first time I saw them, like who the hell needs this setup for gaming? This is crazy. And I'm like, oh, this is for crypto mining. This isn't even for okay.
I looked into getting like the pre-made box for mining for Ethereum.
Yes.
And it was like it makes like a half an Ethereum a month, and it uses like this much electricity. And if you do all the math out, you make like $700 a month.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's insane.
And it's like a $200 box that you just buy and literally plug into the wall, and then like once a month you just plug it in your computer.
Yep.
That's it.
That's crazy? Nuts. I saved a TikTok video of that product. I've seen the same thing and I want it bad. I'm gonna probably.
How much is it?
Was he like $200?
Yeah, I think they're like there's like a couple different
sets.
Not
very much.
Yeah.
It's not very much.
They're like $200 to $400 depending on like
it paid for itself in the first month owning it.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, that's crazy.
Dayo's gonna go buy 10 of them.
No, I don't need that. I just fucking now I'm trying to think of how I can rewire my gaming rig to start doing this.
No, but think about it. That would be great if that actually. Well, that's one of those things. I'll come across stuff like that, and if there's one thing I've learned to be true, it's that if it's too good to be true,
it probably is.
Yeah, probably is.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I'm thinking with that thing.
And
like,
nobody's giving away free money.
Right. Right. So there's probably some catch. There's probably some subscription thing you gotta like. You know what I mean? There's always something. I've
yeah.
done that a million times. We're like, ooh, that'd be great, and then I dive into it, and then I'm like, shit. There's like 9 other hoops I gotta go through, and they all involve money.
Oh yeah, and it's never plug and play. It's never
Yeah.
take it out of the box, plug it into the wall, plug it into your computer.
It's never
walk
as
away.
simple as they make
Yeah,
it
yeah.
seem.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if you guys have seen. I saw ads for it, and I looked into it just to be like, this is interesting. But it was the it's not crypto mining, but it's like geolocation crypto something, or I don't know, some weird thing where they give you a little like transponder you have in your pocket, and it's supposed to generate some sort of geolocation something or other, and you're supposedly supposed to make money. I looked into reviews. It's like, yeah, you got to do all this work, and you make like
Yeah.
this much money,
Mhm.
but you have to do like this much work. It's like, yeah, fuck that shit.
Yeah, or those things would be like, oh yeah, you just go to this website and then click here and just watch these videos and you get paid, and
Oh yeah.
it's like,
Or
There
the,
was
the
that
scan
website
stuff
back
at the
in the
grocery
day.
store.
huh?
The scan stuff at the grocery store.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, to try to get like points or whatever. Yeah,
Did you see?
there was that website back in the day.
Yeah, I do remember that. I
You
do
remember
that.
Dylan, our buddy? Shout out Dylan
Yeah,
Benavides.
yeah.
Yeah,
We
he
get
got
a
us
couple
into it.
cents every time we watched a video.
Yeah, and there was like a shop. They had some pretty cool stuff. It actually
Yeah.
was a decent model.
It was kind
and
of just
then-
like points, and then like a Chuck E. Cheese type shop where you could get things that were cooler than what a Chuck E. Like you could get a console
yeah,
if you
we
wanted.
do it
Oh,
at school
cool.
all the time during shop because we'd be on the computer doing shit, and then we just play the videos in the background, and then you just get the points all day. And
Yeah.
then, yeah, it was
There you go.
perfect.
Yeah, we went on a crazy tangent there. Thinking more on back to what you were saying. One of your bigger learning curves. You said at one point was figuring out whether or not to have the certain focuses with the picture.
Oh yeah.
What else has been a big challenge for you to refining what you do? Because I know you said you're not big into editing. Now that must be
No.
tough
So
because you got to take it raw.
yeah, you got to take it raw, and you have to
what
make
she
sure
said.
everything gets right.
Nice.
My mom's
that
gonna
was
listen to this.
perfect. That was perfect timing. Though. I will say that was.
Yeah, wonderful.
But it definitely it pushes me harder because I want everything perfect the
Yeah.
way it goes into the lens and into the camera. So it makes you spend that little bit extra time where somebody's going to walk up and go, click, I'll just edit that later.
Yeah.
You're there for an hour.
Mm.
And did you get that right photo?
Right.
Is the angle right? Is the lighting right? Does that grass on the hill 2 miles away, does that look okay? It makes it a little bit tougher, but it makes you look so much harder at things.
Yeah. That's such a crazy point because you're right. The amount of factors you have to take in to be able to hopefully present in the best way, because that's
Mhm,
the thing about a
mhm.
picture. It's almost harder than video because at least with video, there's a lot of forgiveness in the changing of
In the edit,
frames.
yep.
You know what I mean? Because obviously you don't have to worry about every single frame. You just have to really worry about what the point is. And
Mhm.
sometimes it can be, I feel like, because in my experience doing video, you can ignore a lot of the flaws because it changes so
Mhm, mhm.
fast. With a picture, that's what you're looking at,
Yep.
and it doesn't change.
hmm
And what you see is what you get.
And because it doesn't change, people can stand there and stare at
Find
it
the
until
flaws,
they find
yeah,
the flaws.
yeah. And or just stand there and stare at it and find all the beauty that
Yeah,
you're
that too,
able
that
to
too.
accentuate in that picture too. Because sometimes that grass you're talking about in
Yeah.
the background could have made the whole picture. 'Cause you're
Yeah,
like, look
and
at that. It's just
what could make
popping.
it for you could ruin it for him.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
True.
So it's, I mean,
Mike usually ruins everything for me. So used to that.
So I take the picture based off what I like, but if I take a couple pictures from a trip and I say, okay, this is my money shot. This
Yeah.
is the one that I truly love. And somebody goes, okay, but what about the one that you took 20 frames before that? That's the one
Yeah.
I want. I recently shot some wild Navajo horses,
No way. Where was this?
Shiprock, New Mexico.
That must have been
Um,
amazing.
Yeah, I was pretty far out there. That was driving in the car and saw some horses, and I was
Yeah.
like, "This would be cool." And then just staring at them.
Wild
and,
horses are
yep,
beautiful. That's crazy.
Just
That's just happening.
staring at them. Yeah, it was all just right in my face.
Yeah.
Staring at them, and you see like their back is like perfect, so they've never had a saddle on them, and you
Yep.
look at their hooves, and they've never had shoes on them.
Yeah.
And I took a couple photos where it's this huge like monolith of a rock in the background, and there's the wild horses sitting there with like a colt and all this, and it's stunning. and everybody likes the other photo where it's a wild Mustang sitting with his I guess his significant other,
Yeah.
and one's black and one's white, and it's just
Oh.
like the total contrast of them on the yellow grass and like the gray background. It's
That's awesome.
That sounds fucking
let's
badass.
see.
Dude, that is badass. Yeah, I do want to see that now that you now I'm
Yeah,
just like, yo,
honestly.
just show me that, because that's freaking
You
sick.
paint a hell of a picture, my friend.
I tell you, you wouldn't even know. It's crazy to think that there's wild
so
horses.
that's the one I think is the money shot.
What? What's the mountain in the background? See, I'm a
So
big fan of
that's
mountains.
Shiprock.
Shiprock. Wow, dude.
But the one everybody loves is that one.
That's crazy. Can you send me these?
Absolutely.
Just so I can display them here too.
Oh shit! I can't see why people like
Yeah.
that, but they're both.
Let me see
really
that one
nice.
again. That's awesome.
You can flip through them.
Yeah. What it is because I would assume, if I were to be artsy, is that that's all there is.
That's it.
It's-
It's pretty plain and simple. Literally, it's black and white.
Because like when you showed me the one with Shiprock, I'm looking at the mountains.
Yeah.
Not the horses.
Yeah.
That's me though.
Yeah, yeah,
That's me though. But the man, wild horses are crazy. I saw wild cows for the first time when I was in Phoenix.
Oh, wild cows.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten that far.
Imagine that. It's such a silly thing. Oh,
That's-
is this
that's the guy
is this
that
the guy who
attacked
almost
me.
killed you?
Yup. That's the.
That's fucking scary, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Because that thing would destroy anybody.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Head down. Tried.
I don't know.
just plow right through you.
Fuck yeah.
I don't even think that he would like stutter step.
Nope,
Just right
no.
through me.
Yeah, guys.
Of course they
And
weigh
what-
like.
where-
they
They'd
weigh
They'd
like
probably come down.
that's
for another.
northern New Mexico.
No, where are these pictures? Just are they? Did you put them on Instagram at all?
Not all of them are on
Okay.
Instagram.
Just
I
some of
tend
them.
not to post all of my stuff,
I hear you.
and I definitely don't post as much as I should.
Well, I tell you guys, definitely still check out the stuff down there.
You watermark
I
any of
like.
your stuff?
So I put my name in the bottom right hand corner of a lot
Yeah.
of my photos. If
How do you pronounce your last name?
Bys,
Bys. Okay.
if I'm doing work for a friend and they're going to be posting it to like better their business or try to start like a career with it, I'm not putting my name on it.
Yeah.
Because nobody wants to see
Yeah.
who took the picture.
Yeah.
They want to see what's in the picture
Yeah.
and how it, and what that entails.
I just know that's a big thing when people stealing like
Oh, yeah.
pictures and
I've had photos
reusing.
stolen.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, you post on Facebook and all of a sudden you go to a different so you post on like professional photographers
Yeah.
like Facebook page, and then you go to like wildlife photography for whatever state, and it's your photo and somebody being like, check this out. They don't claim it's theirs, but they don't also give you credit
Any
for
credit.
it.
Yeah.
That sucks.
And
That's-
then
that's
you
a
have to
problem
like
with
contact
memes,
people.
too.
Oh yeah.
That's a
oh
big problem with
absolutely.
No,
memes.
Yeah,
memes
yeah.
are bad with that.
Nobody knows who
Fan
made it.
art, I do it like because on Reddit I follow a lot of like video games I'm into and shit. But there's a lot of like fan art. A lot of that shit gets reused.
Do you
and
think-
recycled. Yeah.
And this is something I kind of notice, but I feel like people who've been following what you do longer could notice even more than me. But there's a style to the photographer's
Oh, yeah.
photography.
Oh yeah.
And you can be like, that's a Matt Bys thing.
Mhm.
know what I mean?
I definitely have a style. I always
I
try to
was
put
gonna
things
say,
off center.
They seem that, yeah, I was going to say, they all seem sort of like you have a good way of capturing each picture in your own way, if that makes any sense. You know what I mean? Like in a way that's pretty consistent with the other ones.
Yeah, I have a problem where my composure is always like a third off center.
Okay.
So stuff is it's never like perfectly in the middle.
Yeah.
It's a little bit off to the side, so it gives you more of a
Well, that's just
view
it's
on the
just it. That's
background.
ways to accentuate the details that
Mhm,
exist
mhm.
versus making it all about the subject, maybe. Or
and
something.
it's also too of if you put something directly in the middle,
yeah,
that's what you're looking at. But if you put it over here, you actually pull their eye to force them to look
Yeah.
at it. So now you're directing them to look at what you want instead of just here's a picture
Yep.
of this.
horse or something. Yeah. Instead, it's like
Well,
a
yeah,
horse in a place.
Like even with the horse and then the moose that he showed me, the picture with the
Yep.
moose that he
Yep.
had
was that a
in
moose or
Wyoming.
an elk?
That is a moose.
That was
is a moose. Yeah, it
that
looked
was
like
a
it was
freaking
fucking
huge.
huge.
Yeah.
But with that, like I had like noticed right away, like I appreciate the whole picture, like you said, instead of just the subject, like the
Mhm.
moose. Like I look at the mountains and I'm like, wow, the moose is beautiful. And then there's like a little lake there, river or creek or something
Yeah,
like
yeah.
near there too. And it's like, wow, this is just amazing. Same thing in that horse picture. It's like,
Also in that moose
Yeah.
picture, his female counterpart is in that photo.
Really?
Yep. You
I have
can't
to look
see it
again.
though.
Oh,
Yeah.
is she way in the back?
No, she's like way up close. I was probably like 10 feet from her.
Oh, wow.
Like hiding in the bushes to try to get that shot of him at the like right angle.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Do you ever get like kind of scared getting that
Oh,
close to him?
all the freaking time.
Yeah, I was
All
gonna
the
say,
time.
dude.
I've seen,
All the
yeah,
time.
because I've seen it with
Fucking animals are
I think it was at Steve
bro.
Rinella show again, but I was watching them doing a hunting expedition for moose in like Alaska or something, and there was a moose they thought they had down, and it wasn't completely down. One of them got too close, and that thing just started charging.
Oh,
Even
yeah.
the cameraman fell backwards
Mhm,
trying to get
mhm.
away.
It's
like those things.
unreal how big those animals get just off of eating grass.
Oh yeah, bison too.
Insane.
I almost got hit by a stampede of bison.
Oh,
Holy
shit.
shit.
Really?
Yeah, we were in Yellowstone, and there was a
Kind of
just
it was
kind of
like a regular like buffalo.
Bison,
buffalo and bison.
Yeah.
It's
No, I know.
They're
I'm
the
just
same
saying,
thing.
like, was it the tip? Because I know there's a lot of different types of bison. Was it like the?
it's the run of the mill.
Yeah,
Run-of-the-mill
just
or
Run-of-the-mill
bison,
buffalo.
bison.
Okay.
Yeah, like
But yeah, I tried to get a picture of them with the geothermal vents coming out on the other side, and there was this like beautiful little stream that they were drinking out of and eating next to,
wow.
and I kind of put myself in the situation that I was comfortable with, and I was very happy with the way everything was going to work out, and I was just kind of like going to wait for them to come across, and then out of nowhere, these stupid tourists just like ran up from one side and forced them directly at
Oh
me.
shit.
And you have a 2,000 to 3,000 pound animal barreling down at you, and there's 50 of them,
Oh.
and you got nowhere to go.
fuck.
What did you do?
Stood there and braced myself to get hit.
Really?
You
And they
got- I
just
got- you got-
charged past you?
Yeah, they kind of split between me
Holy
and a couple
fuck,
trees.
dude.
Yeah. So you gotta be as active as you can into the camera, but then very aware of your surroundings.
that's a
Yeah.
dick move on those people. That's why I feel like
I
it's
was
the
so
shit.
mad.
Yeah.
I was pissed because it also ruined my shot.
Yeah.
I feel like
You-
that every year, like there's always 2 or 3 stories where people do some stupid shit in Yellowstone, and it usually involves a bison.
Mhm.
Man dies trying to trample to death, trying to ride a bison.
Oh,
What the
yeah.
why are you trying to ride a bison?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Get the fuck away from the bison.
Yeah, they can be pretty territorial, and yeah, I'm not sure. People must really have a very romantic view on what an animal is. You know, it's like, oh, let's just go fuck with it.
yeah.
It happens a lot more than you think.
Yeah.
A lot of photographers too, like if they know an animal lives in this general area, they won't tell anyone, and
Yeah.
they're very secret of it, and who they tell and how, like what they post on photos and where they tag them, purely because they don't want people to go and mess with them.
Oh yeah.
So it's like some people get really iffy about it because they're like, I don't want anybody else to have the shot of my animal.
Yeah.
And then there's other people that you like meet on a trail and they're like, hey, did you see that bird? Check him out. He's right there. Go over there and stand right here. And that's where I did.
Oh, that's cool.
So
That's true. I could see that being something, you know, like seasoned photographers might hide.
Oh yeah. And there's a huge thing in the wildlife photography where baiting animals.
Oh.
If you have a photo of an animal that you like brought food for them or like got them to do something
Yeah.
certain with food or scared them in a certain way, it's worthless to them. They see it as like a huge
cheating.
no. Exactly. It's cheating.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's basically like
It's not candid.
No.
yeah, it's
no,
basically
not at
kind
all.
of the equivalent of going hunting. Like there's places that will have like camps where they basically will just raise deer to just
Mhm,
basically get shot essentially.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing. Not truly going out and experiencing. You're not working hard. You're getting them to do it. For
Oh,
you.
you
Yeah,
see
yeah.
that dumb?
Yeah.
I don't know how big of a thing it was, or I didn't really ever look into it. I'm not sure if they even still do it now, but there was those cameras with a rifle attached to them, just in the woods.
Oh yeah. So
And,
that
like,
way
you
when
could
it
literally-
senses something, you
if-
just push a button.
There was a feeding trough, and then the gun was lined up with the feeding trough, and
That's
then you
not
could just
hunting.
watch it. Yeah, it's like, dude,
That's
that
harvesting.
was lame. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
harvest. Yeah, that's a good point. And it's
do that
kind of
shit all the
lame.
time.
Takes away from it. I would assume, especially if you're not close enough to get to that animal in time. You just killed it for no reason. And,
Mhm.
you know,
Well,
coyotes.
that's part of the
coyotes
thing.
already
Like
got
that's
it.
part of being like the hunt. Like it is, I'm sure, with the picture is like part of the experience is going after it and experiencing that and taking
Yeah.
that 6-mile trek
yeah.
into the woods or wherever. You know.
Yeah, it's definitely. I would imagine it has a lot of. There's a lot of primordial reward systems that are engaged at that point, and that's why I say like hiking those mountains, man. You get
Yeah.
to the top, just simply getting to the top. There's an instant reward when you can see the land around you.
Oh
all of
yeah.
a
You
sudden.
definitely have to be like an outdoorsman with a camera.
Yeah, it's everything.
Plus, you have to get into. You pretty much go into the animal's house and have to outsmart them,
Yeah.
and then outsmart all of their senses
And
to
they
get
can
close
smell
enough.
you a lot
Oh,
better than you might
smell
think,
you,
too.
see you,
Mm-hmm.
the UV color in your clothes.
That probably makes it a little bit easier. I would assume you would know better than me, of course. But do you think, in your experience, it's been easier, like in places like Yellowstone or these national parks, because they're used to that?
It
People being
definitely
around
does make it easier.
Yeah,
Definitely.
because I feel like if you were in a really rural, we'll say
Remote.
yeah, that's the word I'm looking for, place, you might never see an animal because
They're so skittish because
yeah.
they don't know what you are.
Well, think about the work they put in. You probably followed some of this, like with them trying to get pictures of the snow leopards in the wild.
Oh my gosh!
It's
yeah.
like they use all kinds of different technology. They drop people off in helicopters in the mountains.
One guy got his foot cut off because he got
Really?
frostbite because he sat in the same spot where they thought they had seen them. He sat there for a week.
Oh my god!
And he laid in the
shit.
snow, like camera set up, ready to go, covered in like this like little tent thing.
Yeah.
And he laid there for a week.
just to get the
Slept,
shot.
eat, and he got frostbite on one of his feet and had to get it amputated.
No, thank you.
But
Yeah.
he got the shot.
Yeah.
So like he was like, no. This photo is actually worth my left foot.
Yes. Yeah. It is, though. They made a big deal about it. I saw a documentary on BBC talking about it. Like, even with their helicopters, with their hyper telescopic shots, like, you know how do you ever dive into I forget what it was. It was a segment of BBC talking about how they get the shots for Planet Earth. And more often than not, the noises you hear are fully added in post.
Oh, absolutely.
Because they're in a helicopter, like probably a quarter mile away, with a telescope camera, like it's a big ball lens.
And they're like,
yeah, and because that helicopter, obviously, think about it. They got these aerial shots. What animal's gonna be okay? Helicopters are loud as fuck. Like they're just overbearing.
Well, if you ever want a really good one that's a little more recent, there's a really good documentary on Netflix. It's Animals in the Dark, or Animals at Night.
oh yeah, that's a great
Have you
one.
seen that?
Mhm.
The shots they get there are fucking ridiculous. Let me just tell you. Of
Yeah.
animals,
Huh?
yeah,
They cheat.
yeah,
they
with their
probably do.
technology and stuff, like the lighting.
It's even worse.
Zoos.
Zoos.
A lot of the photo and video and photography that you see with a plain black background.
Ah.
Really interesting.
You'd be surprised
I was
too.
wondering about that.
Yeah.
Actually,
Because think about it, you can go to the Boston Aquarium and take a picture of a jellyfish,
True.
or you could fly to Hawaii, spend the $10,000 in camera equipment and underwater equipment,
Yep.
Get your scuba certification, and go out diving for a week to get that same photo.
Yeah.
You want to drop $20,000 on one
You'll
trip for a
probably-
week,
Yeah.
You'll probably stick
Or-
with the former
or
on that.
$40 at the
Yeah.
Boston Aquarium?
Yeah.
well, like I was wondering too, because there's a part there where they have like a tiny little spider or whatever running across the desert, and it's got that all black background, and I'm like, are you telling me there's really some stupid asshole that sat out here for months on end looking for that tiny little spider? Like, I'm not shitting you.
No.
Oh, yeah,
that spider's
yeah.
like this
Yeah.
fucking big.
I saw it actually.
this
there's
big.
there's a
You
full
gonna wait
length
for that? No.
there's a full length video on YouTube showing how they document or do the videography work for the bugs. They have essentially
Setups.
they have a setup.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
it's just a little section of
That is
environment,
crazy.
and they'll just have the bugs interact, and they
Mhm.
have the perfect lighting.
And they
everything.
throw heavy lighting off the front of it, and then they put a black
Yeah.
background in the backs to make it seem like they did it at night.
And when you
not
when
always.
exactly,
That's
so
crazy.
that's something you can tell too, which I never really looked into because I wasn't really trying to look for.
Yeah.
Hey, this
The
is
flaws,
I
yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
looking for any of that. But when you really watch it, these shots are supposedly to be like on the jungle floor.
Mm-hmm.
They always have light.
Perfect lighting too.
There's no way they have a tinge of light that's just perfectly like.
There's no way that they have the $2,000 in lighting in the middle of the jungle.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's raining.
yeah.
Well, like, yeah, there's another part
that
where-
too.
And they need a power source.
Yeah.
Great. You're
Yeah.
not running that off batteries.
That
They were-
canopy is like
Yeah, yeah.
500 feet thick. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Just
Oh, yeah.
trees. You know.
Yeah, they were, and then there was one. I don't even know how the fuck they pulled this
100
off.
feet or something.
But they had this one frog that basically this whole frog's existence is every night it basically stops its body and goes into hibernation because it freezes to death and then comes back to life. Like, I don't know who the fuck had to sit there and watch that frog try
Yeah.
to do that, because if that frog is freezing, the asshole taking that picture is definitely freezing.
Well, it's
Oh, yeah.
it's
and the frog again is like this big.
some of the work. Even though some of it's cheating, it's amazing.
It still
the,
works.
The
Oh, yeah.
cinematic
Yeah, it's-
value
yeah.
is insane because you know how they'll do those shots where they'll literally do a shot that took 3 seasons
Oh, yeah.
of
yeah.
like a freaking flower going through each of its seasonal transitions.
yeah, or the March of the
through-
Penguins and stuff.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Like, how did you get a panning angle, like a circular panned angle on a plant through that many seasons without it getting interrupted? Like, there's got to be some CGI or something. What do you think?
There's some tricks of the trade.
Yeah.
A lot of that, and like a lot of the night shots that you see where like the stars move across the sky,
Yeah.
that's actually just photos.
Okay.
That's not actually even
Is that?
video.
I was wondering
Yeah,
how
they
they do
just
that.
take a
Like, is
bunch
there,
of high
like, because the
exposure.
only other thing I could think of, and I'm like, this
Long
can't be
exposure.
practical. Some dude just sitting here and just basically time lapsing the whole. I can't
Mhm.
imagine he's like doing.
No,
that.
it's
So-
a bunch of long exposures.
Yeah,
right?
so yeah, you
Yeah.
pretty much set up your camera to take a photo that like whatever settings you need for
Yeah.
it, but then you set it up for like every 2 minutes it takes a photo, and then in post you go into like a video editor and you just put those photos in
the frame.
as the 30
As
frames
frames,
a
yeah.
second, and all of a sudden when you play it, it's
Yeah.
because there's not much variation.
That's a really
between the
beautiful
photos.
trick. I'll
Yeah,
be
yeah.
honest. It makes for a really
Oh,
fucking dope
absolutely.
scene. Yeah.
So say you do go, or sorry, obviously you are going. You're going to Alaska. No,
Yeah.
I'm thinking now this whole long exposure thing, because that was the one thing I was asked the most, because I did get a chance to see the Northern Lights in in Iceland, and it was insane. Where's the pictures? Where's the pictures? It's like all I had
Yeah, Mike. Where are the pictures?
was my camera phone.
Yeah.
It's obviously that's not going to take long enough exposure to
yeah.
capture. It's really dumb. It just doesn't look great at all. What's the strategy if you do come across something like that? Do you have the equipment to probably capture?
Yeah, I have a couple wide angle lenses, and I've tried my hand at some astrophotography, and some of them
because that's
come
got to
out
be a
great.
whole other thing.
Oh yeah, they sell and some of them get really expensive, like trackers that you can put the camera on and it'll actually stay
Oh.
with the
Rotation of the Earth.
The rotation of the Earth. They have like the old school ones, like equatorial mounts for like telescopes and whatnot.
Wow.
But it depends on how much money you want to spend for that one shot,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
do you want to spend all that money and all that time and all that effort to get into astrophotography, and you still have to focus on other stuff for other photography because that's not an entire part of the trip. That's 2 photos for an entire journey. Do you want to lug all that gear around?
Right.
Camera
That's a good
gear's not
point.
light.
No. Especially if you have multiple lenses, and
Mhm.
then not only is it not light, it is fragile. It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
you can't be just chucking it around. You got to
Humidity
protect
at a
it like
certain
an
level.
egg.
Oh yeah.
That's crazy. That's a wild story though about the
Heat,
guy
dust.
freaking
Oh, yeah.
lost his leg trying to get that snow leopard shot.
I can't imagine that. Like any of those, like out in the Sahara, like looking at the
Mhm.
like video, recording the lions, and like I just couldn't. I don't know. I can't. Like that's.
You ever dive
That's
into
crazy.
those people still looking for the Tasmanian dog?
No.
There's still like people think that dog still exists.
Well, they released
but
some
they're-
recently.
They're obviously they were claimed to be extinct, but it's like obviously the planet's pretty big and there's a lot of places people just haven't really been, especially out in Australia and Tasmania and where's the other place near there?
Australia.
Well, it's New Zealand,
New Zealand.
but there was reports of people seeing them. Are
Oh,
you
wow.
familiar with that dog? You know
No,
what I'm talking
not at
about.
all.
It's got like white stripes on it. It got extinct probably.
Oh,
in the
that's a
60s.
Tasmanian tiger.
Tiger.
The
Tiger.
devil. The devil
The
is
devil. I
different.
said dog, but the devil is
Yeah.
definitely not
Yeah.
extinct.
Yeah,
The
the
Tasmanian
devil.
tiger.
It actually just came. The Tasmanian devil actually recently came back from extinction.
Oh, the Tasmanian devil was extinct.
It was, and it came back recently. Like I think Chris Helmsworth actually helped bring it back to Australia.
So wait,
Recently.
the Tasmanian tiger. It's a dog, though. They call it a tiger.
It's called a tiger, but it looks like a dog. Like that's
Yeah.
the one you're thinking of. Yeah.
Tiger based off the fact that it has stripes.
Probably,
Yeah.
probably, but it's a canine, and
Hmm.
essentially, and they went extinct a long time ago.
But people
And
are
they
still
were
looking for 'em.
very, yeah. There's been reportings of seeing them, and they're very unique in that their mouth could open like this wide,
Oh wow.
like almost like 180 degrees. They had a really big mouth, but yeah. Oh, there you go.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These things are fucking crazy. I think they hunted
Look
them.
at that. Click on that picture. Of him yawning with his mouth open there.
Yeah, I can't really
Show him
see
that.
one.
Like that's
Yeah.
crazy. Oh no.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah. Well, that is a good picture. That's his
Yeah.
jaw. Look how big its mouth is.
That's still elite. I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, it's like what was it eating? Armadillo's hole? Like probably out in Australia.
Eating alligators.
Probably it's probably it's eating the ones that were galloping out there.
Oh, this one won't load. But yeah, no, those Tasmanian tigers are fucking crazy.
Crazy, and
Nuts.
and there's a lot of wildlife out in Australia. I think is a whole nother
Oh,
biome
yeah.
of its own. Especially if I saw a really fascinating documentary on Tasmania. Tasmania is a remnant that had broken off, obviously, not too long after Pangea. And it's part of, technically, the land itself is part of Antarctica. It's moved up quite a ways, and it still has really like ancient single cell life forms and fish and plant life that is nowhere else on the entire planet. And it's much older life than everything else on the planet. By I don't know how they figured
It's like
that
the
kind of stuff out.
Galapagos.
Yeah, like just really ancient life that had predates most of the older. I don't even know.
Did you hear what they just found in Antarctica?
No,
They found a lake, like like it was like 2 miles down in the ice.
really?
And there's just this lake that's like full of life, and they're looking into
They
it.
also did. Was it Antarctica? They just found two species of animal, or an animal, like some sort of like fossil of some species they didn't even know would be like underneath, like buried underneath. It might be related to what you're talking about, but yeah.
What did you hear about that?
That they just found this lake, like
And it's
couple
got like
miles,
fish in it,
and I wouldn't call them fish, but
probably
it's
plant life. and
It's
stuff?
got plant life, and like I think they said that there was some sort of squid-like creature, and it was just teeming with like amoebas and
Wow.
this entirely different biome of animals.
That's crazy. That's so crazy. I wouldn't doubt. I sometimes think to myself, is there, like, could you get to the center of the earth? You know, that whole thing, like
I
there's a
don't
whole
know.
nother
Oh,
world
yeah.
inside the earth. How would you know? How would you know? Because I've never been to the North Pole. What if there's like a way in?
It's just
That's a
hole with a ladder.
conspiracy. Yeah.
I don't think so. Like
The
Like a
sign that
mine-
says like "Take your shoes
Yeah,
off before you
because
enter."
honestly-
Yeah.
step here, but I don't know how you'd honestly do that, because once you get to the middle, you got to deal with the core, and the core is like
If
hot
it's there, I
lava,
don't know. I have
basically.
no idea. Well, I was actually at one of the lava tubes in Iceland where I forget the author's name, but he got the inspiration there for Journey to the Center of the Earth.
Oh,
You're
that's
familiar
cool.
with that book?
Yeah.
What the hell is it? It wasn't George Orwell, was it? No. I forget the author. But anyways, that's where he got the inspiration. That is another really cool thing about Iceland, was all the lava canals you could walk in, and they had cathedral ceilings. We were about I want to say 150 feet beneath the Earth's surface, and the
Jules Verne.
Okay, and the ceilings were like 60 feet high. It was insane, and they didn't have any fixed lighting in there, specifically because there was a form of bacteria that only existed in those caves. That was it wasn't bioluminescent, but when you shine a light at it, it looked like the whole ceiling was paved in gold.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's wild. It was the most wild thing. I'm like, whoa, and you're like shining in the light, and it's just refracting in all these different ways because there's a certain type of bacteria that just covers the rock down there, and it would die if you put light in it.
Oh, that's crazy.
So yeah. Cool stuff.
Oh my God, Mike, you just sent me on a hole with these.
What are you looking up?
Rabbit hole.
The Tasmanian tiger. They call it I guess the actual name for it is thylacine.
Yeah. It
Thylacine,
starts
but
with
yeah.
a deer. Yeah.
Thing's fucking crazy. I
Crazy.
guess it had a pouch, like it had an abdominal
It was a
pouch. kinda
marsupial.
Yeah, like a kangaroo.
Yeah.
But it's built like a dog. It's fucking nuts.
Crazy.
These
It's
things are nuts.
super weird.
Like I've known about these things, but like never like fully looked into them, and like holy shit.
Yeah. So before we wrap this up,
Let's have
Matt,
a conversation about this. No, I'm just kidding.
let's dive into the origins of the Tasmanian tiger. No, you said you're a painter. I'd love to give your company a shout out. I mean, you do all. I'm assuming since you're a one man band, right?
Yeah, for now.
You kind of just do all the marketing yourself. What's the name of the company?
Matt Bys Painting.
Matt Bys Painting.
It's just for me. I don't have business cards. I don't have a website. It's
Okay.
It's purely word of mouth, but it keeps me.
That's crazy though. It keeps you busy.
It keeps me busy, and it's really nice because when you hand somebody a business card,
Yeah.
you can stop by and see them
Well,
in anywhere.
Fun fact: I painted for 4 years.
There you go.
Before I'm in fitness now, but like I was painting for Fennell Painting. Shout out to him too. And
AKA Mike's asking
There's-
if you have a spot for him. No, I'm just
Yeah, you
kidding.
think There's not a day that goes by that back then I didn't have paint on my hands. I remember that struggle. You got some on your arm there.
Have
I
you
know
ever
Oh, yeah.
seen the episode of SpongeBob where he tries to paint Mr. Krabs' house? That was Mike when he paints.
Yeah, I was that
Very
good.
nervous.
Very
just-
good. Now remember that? There was the bubble, and he popped the bubble, and then everything was perfect, except that one drop on a
The
dollar
molding,
bill.
yeah, and the molding and everything was perfect.
Well, that's freaking awesome, Matt. I love the journey you're on, and how you're doing it is super humble and noble. Because I'm always scared to turn something I love into something that I have to worry about. So
Yeah.
I kind of like the way you're doing it.
It's more
something-
for me than it is for
I
other
think
people.
it's eye opening too, because it's easy to go, well, why not just make money off of that? And I think no matter what, at some point, your work will speak for itself and carry its own weight. You know what I mean? Because that's sort of something. And I really like some of his quotes. Buckminster Fuller, he was like a maybe early 1950s architect, and ephemeralization is a word he had coined, which is, you do something enough to the point where it's so refined it does itself. And if you take that approach with the things you love without forcing them to become something, I think they'll end up finding a way all of its own to be supportive.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's kind of cool. The way you're doing it is like just vicariously exciting to me. You know what I mean? So
Thank you.
I like that you do that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. I'd love to travel. I'm gonna try and do a no plan van. I think I could muster
Dude,
up
there's
some
plenty of
cash.
videos. Mike,
Yeah.
let's go to Le Mans. 24 hours. Let's go.
Come
on, let's go.
I can't get there in a no plan van.
It doesn't matter. No, that's just you do your no plan
Really
van. This is
wet
on top.
drive.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, this is the on top of the no plan
What kind
van.
of no plan van are you gonna make there, buddy?
A one that I can float
ATV,
on
an
water.
all terrain.
You can just ship it.
An
yeah,
aquatic
Ship
one.
it across.
That would be perfect.
True. But yeah, no, Mac. If there's anything you want to shout out, man, I can't thank you enough for coming on. So I don't know if you got any last words.
I think I'm good.
All right.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, thank you for coming, Matt. I really appreciate it. And guys, all this stuff again is below, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Peace out.